Whoa, what's up, everybody? How's it going? What's new? How you do? Hey, yo, hey, Sue, what's going on? You'll have nightmares. Yes, that's demonic. The devil is a lie. That's right. What's up, Dan? How you doing? How you doing, Denisha? How you doing? Great to see you. Dan, Sylvia, good to see you. America First, what's up? Awesome to see you. Lurch Linger, good to see you. Scary times, weird times. You ain't kidding. Kimby, what's up? Awesome to see you here. Stephanie's, how's it going? Hey, everybody, what's new? Lisa Edders says Ann Whitcomb required MP was beaten to death in her home on Thursday. She was 78 years old. Yes. And they're refusing to release the description of the person who did it. So I guess, what does that leave us to think? Ms. Gatlin, how you doing, Sherry? Thank you very much for the gifted membership. You're looking forward to Jim's take on this? Well, thank you so much. Lisa Edders says the Amir Qatar died yesterday of a heart attack. There's been a lot of these heart attacks going around. Just saying. Heart attack is the leading cause of death in the U.S. The Senate is full of old vaxxed people. Lindsey was known to have cardiovascular disease. Well, it's just odd, like strange that he was in Ukraine on Friday, taking pictures and videos at the plant that makes drones and stuff. And then somehow just, comes back to the U.S. and less than 24 hours later, he drops dead. It's just, I was immediately suspicious and thinking they're going to try and pull something. 71 is not super old these days. No, I think that they're going to try to blame it on Russia or Iran to, get us drawn into war. That's what I was right away. I went, whoa, wait a minute. What are you doing here? Yes, right. I did not see that coming. Definitely. What's up? Great to see you, Christine. Awesome for you being here. He's always traveling. Everybody's got to die sometime. Yeah, well, it happens. People happen. People die. Jim's been hanging out with Joe too much. He's late. I tried not to be late, but my grandson needed attention at the last minute right there. So I had to take care of that first. Good evening, Regine. How you doing? Great to see you. IRGC did this to Lindsey Graham. If it wasn't the Dems had something to do with it. Well, the IRGC is taking credit for it. Now, I don't know if that means they actually did it. Rob, but looking forward to what I have to say. Well, I'm glad. The former Amir Qatar passed away. The current Amir is alive. Okay. Thank you, Stephanie. It's odd. It is odd about Lindsey. It is. It is odd. The old ones die and the young ones get shot. My guess is the plane ride was too long and he didn't get good circulation to his body. When he got home, he ended up dying. Well, they're actually a dissected artery, no warnings. Yes, they're saying that his artery dissect, like it just burst, like his aorta burst or something, is what they're claiming. Now, I don't know. They're still doing testing. For some reason, the FBI is investigating. So there's that. So we will wait and see. Jim is late too if my grandson needed me. Yes, that's right. The IRGC prayed hard for this. They sure did. Somebody said Putin killed Lindsey. Well, that's what I'm sure they were trying to blame it on. Like I was right away thinking, oh shit, the Ukrainians did this, trying to suck us into war, claiming Putin killed them with, polonium or something. Who knows? Yeah. All you could think of was when the Lindsey bug came across the wire was, damn, Jim would love this. Oh, I saw it. I was watching Ricada and I was trying to tell Ricada what was going on. Somebody said, is it verifiable? No, I know. I know it is. I know it is. I'm not gonna lie. I was making many prognostications on Twitter yesterday and today, basically just like like this something does it because something just doesn't. Lindsey Graham was never married and has no kids. Yes, never married and has no kids. Kind of late, but Bravo News. Army Blackhawks historically airlift 200 stranded campers. Oh, that's awesome. We'll put that off. You were digging as soon as Rackets read the chat. Yeah, that was me posted in Rackets chat. Yeah. So anyway, so we're going to jump into the, yes, before we jump into the first, yes, our attention has been on Mitch, the turtle, and Lindsey passed and suddenly is shocking our eyes. Well, Mitch McConnell's fine, I guess. Mitch McConnell's all right. He's alive. A certain type of aorta burst is associated with the jab. Oh, wow. Didn't Lindsey's father die early of heart disease? Yes, Lindsey's father did die. Lindsey ended up raising his sister when she was like 13 and he was 17 or 18, raised his sister, stuff like that. So, yeah. Yeah, he had nieces and nephews only. What's up, Catherine K? Good to see you. M-Ban, heart attack is how the CIA kills people. Well, yeah, I mean, that's, could not see this coming. Nightmare Netherlands, 15-year-old girl who identified. Okay, I'm going to see this. That's going to be something. So before we get into the first news story, let's say that there is a KK. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. As always, there's a goal on the show. The show is going to be about 2 hours long, somewhere between 2.5 hours long, unless we hit the goal, which is for every $100 in total that comes in across all platforms, YouTube Super Chats, Rumble Rants, becoming a member, or gifting memberships on YouTube, Rumble, Kick, or Twitch, along with Locals Coins, Cash App, PayPal, Coffee, Ko-Fi, and Super Tips. We add it all up. And when we hit 100, we add an extra hour to the show. And then for each additional $100 that comes in, we add an additional hour to the show. So the show could be as long as you guys want it to be. It could be 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours. It could be as long as you want it to be. It could be all night long, whatever. It's up to you, the audience. When we hit 50, we activate Bella Vision. As you can see, she's getting ready to, hit the pole, do some dancing. Unless somebody is generous enough that they donate $25 or greater as an individual, then we automatically activate Bella Vision for the evening. And that could be like a Cash App, a PayPal, a Coffee, Ko-Fi, a Super Tip. It could be a Rumble Rant or a Super Chat, or it could be, 5 gifted memberships on YouTube or Rumble. That would automatically activate Bella Vision. And it doesn't have to be all at once. It could be separate. I'll keep track. And if I see it, I'll add it up and I'll activate it. So thank you so much to everyone. All right, let's get into the first news story. What do you say? So, yes, so Mitch McConnell's wife, Elaine Chao, issues statement addressing his health upon her return from China. We need to do a brain dump of Clarence Thomas into a Tesla robot, make 9 of him, and replace the entire SCOTUS. That would be a great idea. The Shield of America gains momentum. Colombia set to join. Yes. That's good news. That is good news. That is el mucho good newsios, as they say. As they say in Española. Mhm. Mhm. So Mitch McConnell's wife was in China. Where is Maxine Waters? Indeed. Yes, where is she? So former Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao, wife of the Senate Minority Leader, has issued a statement after returning to the United States from a trip to China. China. That's where she was, a China. A China. Mhm. Mhm. Why she, and aggressing questions as to why she did not immediately return when her husband was hospitalized on June 14th. Oh yeah, we saw. I think we talked about this yesterday. The 10,000 Christians arrested in China. There was a bunch. Well, I don't know, maybe not 10,000. We talked about a raid on a church. So the statement emphasized that Chow was already abroad on previously scheduled trips supporting her family's philanthropic work when McConnell was admitted to the hospital. The secretary was on a long planned trip to China to support her family's philanthropic endeavors. That's why she was meeting with the vice premier of China. Secretary, yeah, long planned trip. Yes. During the trip, she met with a number of people, including the U.S. ambassador. The senator's health did not warrant an immediate return. Yeah, no, he was just hospitalized and did not, found unconscious. Didn't need to come home. Statement also noted that McConnell appreciates the outpouring of support. It did not provide any information about the condition. Chow returned to the United States earlier this week after spending roughly 3 weeks in China. She began her trip on June 12th, 2 days before her husband's hospitalization. Well, I don't know. Rumors I saw was that she arrived there after his hospitalization. They're trying to change the dates on us. McConnell was hospitalized after what officials described as a health issue requiring medical attention. Oh, no. Well, normally, if you need medical attention, they don't hospitalize you, right? They hospitalize you when you don't need medical attention. Mhm. Hey, look at it. We got a dollar donation on Rumble, a rant from Spuds. Thank you, Spuds. It says, did Elaine go all the way to China for takeout? I hope the dumplings were worth it. I hope so too. And with that $1, that means we are now just $99 away from adding a first additional hour and $49 away from Bellavision. Thank you so much. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Senate Republicans say they've spoken with Mitch McConnell as questions remain over his health. McConnell says he was briefly unconscious and had pneumonia in his latest health update. That's what they claim.
Just about the health of Kentucky Republican Senator Mitch McConnell. He's not been seen since he was hospitalized June 14th. Our Torian Small joins me now from Capitol Hill. Torian, there was a concerted effort among senior Republicans in the Senate today to say they have engaged, at least in conversation, with Senator McConnell. But beyond that, they didn't have much more to say.
Yeah, and Major, I think what's most striking about this story is the fact that a lot of the information we're receiving is pretty much secondhand information from his colleagues and not necessarily from his Senate staff. The last time we heard from his staff was about a week ago when they said that the senator was encouraged and thankful for the outpouring of support he's receiving and that he's recovering well during his stay in the hospital, that he's working with the staff, but nothing beyond that would describe his current health status. We heard from a spokesperson for Senator Senate Majority Leader John Thune, who said that he spoke with McConnell yesterday, describing that conversation as engaged and saying that they talked about a number of conversations, including national security. Senator Barrasso's staff said that the senator talked to him earlier this afternoon. And this was an interesting readout because it sounded like they had a long conversation, about 20 minutes long, that went over everything from the National Defense Authorization Act to the Graham-Plattner scandal. So it's curious around that. But I find most unusual about this is the fact that the whereabouts of McConnell's wife is unknown at this point. She was last confirmed to be in Beijing meeting with China's vice president on June 17th. That's 3 days after McConnell was taken to the hospital. So it's something curious that we're tracking and following, but as of now, still no word on his current health status, Major.
It was interesting that on social media, Republican Senator from Utah, Mike Lee, said his Senate colleagues know nothing about Mitch McConnell's condition. Mitch McConnell's own staff has not released any details about the cause for hospitalization, what he's being treated for, what his overall condition is, fair, guarded, improving, nothing. No words at all about what's actually happening, not even confirmation from his staff about which hospital is in. We are led to believe it's in George Washington Hospital in Washington, D.C., but there's like a veil of secrecy about all of this.
I know, Nanya, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I think it follows this pattern or recent pattern of a lack of transparency when it comes to the health of these lawmakers. Representative Kane of New Jersey just recently returned to the Hill after being gone for 4 months. He was absent without any notice from his staff or any word from majority leadership on the House side as to why he was gone. But he returned to give a floor speech saying that he was going through recovery for depression. As it relates to McConnell, he's had some pretty significant health challenges even the past, 24 months. He was hospitalized in the fall for flu-like symptoms. Before that, he had taken a pretty nasty fall that also sent him to the hospital. He had been wheeled around in a wheelchair on the Hill. So we're still waiting to see what exactly is his status because of just how scary his previous health episodes have been.
Senate comes back to work next week. We will find out possibly whether or not Senator McConnell will be participating in any of those legislative activities. Torian Small on Capitol Hill, thanks so much.
Crazy, ain't it? Crazy. So Mitch McConnell released a statement on his health on Sunday, along with a photo of himself and his wife. After questions swirled about his condition, McConnell said he was briefly unconscious. Folks of my generation often hesitate to share vulnerability that comes with growing older. Who did all the talking? Probably his wife. Notice how she got back from China and all of a sudden there's a statement coming out. Cindy says, bullshit. They claim the pick is AI. Well, maybe. Nobody's seen a hide nor hair out of Roberts in quite a while. She's 87. Grace, Christine, awesome to have you here. Thanks for being here. Brenda, awesome to have you here. Thanks a lot. 20 years younger in that picture. Yeah. I called my representative's office and asked for proof of life. It's not a bad idea. Say, we want proof of life. We want proof. That's what we want, proof. Even in the public eye, I feel the same instinct. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, who's Roberts? I don't know. I don't know. Grok says AI generated from OpenAI. Wow. The photo? What's the paper? They're holding a newspaper. Is that an actual newspaper with these baseball team on it? Is baseball being played right now? I don't even know. Mitch McConnell released an image of himself at his hospital. The 84-year Republican's been hospitalized since June 14th. On the same day, emergency medical personnel responded to an unconscious person at McConnell's home, according to a public EMS dispatch call. Yes, that is. Baseball is playing. Okay, so this could be an actual newspaper. I mean, someone could just check the newspaper and find out if that was something in the paper and when it was in the paper. I don't think AI could do that. They lied about Biden's condition, so why wouldn't they lie? Should have said Maxine Waters. Sorry. Okay, Maxine Waters. Nobody's seen Maxine Waters. Okay. The 84-year-old Republican has been hospitalized since June 14th. My doctors have confirmed I didn't break any bones or suffer a concussion or anything. I didn't have a heart attack or a stroke. I didn't have any tumors or hemorrhages, but I was briefly unconscious. Why? What's the explanation? What's up, Ank? Ank, great to see you tonight. Yes, it is MLB season. Okay. My question is, why were they doing CPR for a fall in pneumonia? That doesn't make a lot of sense, right, Pam? It's supposed to be for today's, and Benny Johnson did a little short and said he asked Grok, and Grok said it's an actual photo. It's not AI generated. Okay. He's receiving excellent care. His doctors are trying to figure out what caused the incident. The turtle is at room temperature. Yes. Well, he's cold-blooded, so. In fact, with signs of continued progress, I've been able to move from hospital care to rehab center where I'll be regaining my strength. But from what? From what? What happened? Republican said his team has not cleared him to return to the Senate floor, but he assured them that he's working with his staff and colleagues. Senate GOP leader said earlier that they spoke to McConnell over the phone. Snake, yes. Oh, sorry, he's a turtle. Yeah. You're right to expect your representatives to work hard for you. And part of my decision to retire at the end of this term coming in January was being honest about the demands of Senate work. Yeah, the All-Star game is coming up mid-season. Okay. I still have the intention of finishing the job you elected me to do. The office of McConnell's attending physician said the senator remained hospitalized to focus on physical therapy and reduce his risks of future falls. So they're saying he fell and hit his head and went unconscious. He needs to retire now. Yes. Master of disguise, definitely. Hey, look at this. 25. Thank you. Television. I was not expecting Lindsey Graham's death. How about you? No, I did not see that coming. Thank you so much for the 25. There's Bellavision. I still am very suspicious that they're going to come up with something and claim that he was poisoned or it was somehow the Russians or the Iranians. That's what I feel in my bones, that they're going to try and say, like, we got to put ground troops in Iran now, or bacon kills. Yes, that's what they say. It may be a real photo from many years ago. We all know how he looks now. At times, McConnell seems briefly unconscious when he's standing and speaking. Parkinson's? It could be Parkinson's. It could be. The All-Star game is Tuesday night. Okay, not at all. McConnell, a childhood polio survivor, has faced several health scares in recent years. In a May 19th committee hearing, he was seen with a bandage around his hand. He spent more than a week in a hospital after he checked himself in for flu-like symptoms. Mitch probably passed out due to infection. That's what caused the fall, very common in the elderly. Oh, okay. Thanks, Lisa. In 2023, he was hospitalized with a concussion after a fall and later appeared to freeze in two separate instances. He suffered minor injuries in 2024 after another fall. He's as good as toast anyway. Nothing to see here. His job is to obstruct Trump. Jonathan, that's how I feel about it. The funny part is that Mitch can't prove he won fair and square. Mm-hmm. So that's the Mitch McConnell. Here's from a local news story. It says that McConnell releases health update. So that's it. The New York Post. Senator McConnell breaks silence on mystery ailment. Actually, they don't say what was wrong with them. They never say what was wrong with them. They just say, he's got that hand looks really dark there. You see it? Like, look at the turtle. He's got like literal turtle skin. Look at that on his hand. He's got literal turtle skin on his hand. You can see it's all cracked and stuff. Hey, what's up, DK Spiracy? Great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. So that's that. And then so hopefully, I don't know. They're keeping him alive somehow. Hopefully he stays safe and alive for the next 50 years, just as long as he's out of the Senate. On to the next story. As everybody knows, breaking news last night was that Lindsey Graham had passed away unexpectedly at 71 following a sudden illness. Now, generally speaking, when they say sudden illness or unexpectedly or whatever, usually that means something. when they announce that, when they say someone died unexpectedly. Usually that means an accident or something. It's Cardboard Mitch. Yeah, they said pneumonia. Well, that's what they said. IV in his hand. Yes, lizard people, definitely. The political world was shocked early Sunday morning by the sudden and completely unexpected passing of the longtime South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. He was 71 years old. I think he just turned 71 on the 9th of, if I'm not mistaken, the 9th of July. So according to official statement, the senior Republican senator passed away on Saturday evening, July 11th, after a brief, rapid battle with an undisclosed illness. Any truth to the Lindsey Graham dying in the strike on the drone factory in Kiev? I don't think so. I don't think so. I believe he was back in the U.S. Are all poisons detectable after death? Yeah, sudden illness is a weird way to describe a heart attack. Yeah, it is. It is. That's what I'm saying. The way they described it, something don't sound right. Sudden death syndrome. Member. Yes. Member. I remember. Sticky M. Yes, I know what you're saying. Who writes this shit? That's what I'm saying. Brief statement read: on the evening of Saturday, July 11th, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham passed away from a brief and sudden illness. Senator Graham's family appreciates prayers at this time and asks for privacy during this incredibly difficult period. Apparently, that rumor is going around on X. Yeah, well, there's a rumor going around on X that rapid battle. That's what I'm saying. It's like something. Mm-hmm. This is heart and blood vessel disorders, disease of the aorta and its branches, aortic dissection. Yeah, that's what they said. I think it's something just burst in his, I think maybe. WD Daisy, hey, awesome to have you here. Pulmonary embolism. No, they're saying it was his heart, that his aortic dissected, something like blew up or something. His heart. You know, I don't know. Didn't the CIA used to have a gun that would make people do that? On my way out the door and peeked on Rumble. Good evening, everyone. Hey, great to see you. Awesome to see you, King of Biltong. Awesome to see you. Very nice. I just want to point out to everybody that if you don't know, that you can buy some meat from the King of Biltong at www.biltongusa.com, and you can use promo code JIM. You'll save 10%. The 8-ounce bags make excellent gifts. Definitely. Check out their Angus or Wagyu biltong, all 100% U.S. made, 50% protein, produced in Texas by a family business, the Biltong family. Anton makes great meat. And he also has other snacks, cakes, cookies, and candies that you can get from all around the world. If you like it a little spicy, pick up some peri peri. If you like it a lot of spicy, get the Reaper or the Ghost Pepper. Check out their Adrawers or their Cabanasi also. www.biltongusa.com. Promo code JIM. Save 10%. Are we on for Friday? I have to check in with them to see what their plans are to make sure we're going to do it. What they want to do. But as far as I know, could be similar symptoms. The battle was so rapid, he didn't know he was in it. Yeah. Okay, you got it here. What's this? Liberty Lock. Oh, so that's, what's his face? That's Clint. Let me see what Clint is saying. Liberty Lock Pod. Okay. All right. We'll get to that in 1 second. Yeah, no problem, buddy. Thank you. Make someone die intentionally of a heart attack is easy to do. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Lindsey was a public servant. The family doesn't need privacy. We need answers. Yeah. Let you know. Will be fun. Okay, we'll do. We'll keep you. I'll keep you in touch. So they say he passed away. So a statement posted from his website for his Twitter just says he passed away from a brief and sudden illness. Emergency personnel responded to a call for cardiac arrest at Graham's home. Photographs reviewed show paramedics carrying a person on a stretcher from Graham's home to a waiting ambulance. The top staffer said that there was no indication the lawmaker was feeling unwell prior to his death. He'd been scheduled to appear on NBC News Meet the Press for Sunday. So Senate Majority Leader John Thune paid tribute to a strong advocate for the United States and a strong ally to freedom-loving countries around the globe. According to South Carolina law, McMaster will appoint someone to fill Graham's seat until January 3rd of next year. Graham was fresh off a trip to Kiev, Ukraine, where he met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Friday. He'd been scheduled to appear on Meet the Press on Sunday. That's what's crazy is like he was just in. Yes, thank you so much, King of Hilltop. Hey, what's up, Hank? Yo, what's up? That's that's crazy. He was just there. So McMaster will be tasked with appointing a temporary replacement to fill the seat until a special election can be held. Yeah. So that's that. So this is what they're talking about. Clint Russell, Liberty Lock podcast says, okay, get your tinfoil ready. Graham inspected a drone factory in Ukraine yesterday. Russia blew up the facility today. Then tonight, it's announced that Graham is dead from a sudden illness. No more details. I'd say there's a decent chance that Russia blew up Lindsey Graham. Yesterday, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham visited Ukraine to assure Zelensky support from the U.S. Warmonger was shown a secret drone manufacturing facility in Kiev. Here's why it's possible. Russia is furious that we continue to fund and arm Ukraine. Graham is not just the most psychotic booster of Ukraine, but he was also the biggest booster for arming Ukraine a decade ago. And likely the Maidan Revolution, which really forced Russia to invade. Graham was the loudest voice supporting strikes inside Russia. I can assure you Putin didn't forget that. Russia signaled they intended to escalate between the U.S. because the U.S. and NATO did not back off. This could be the warning shot to the political class that while Russia doesn't want World War III, they will extract a cost on the politicians themselves who are pushing for this endless war. It's now being reported he died of a heart attack. Sure, maybe. I don't know. But if I were Trump and Graham got blown up and I didn't want World War III, I would also say that Graham had a heart attack and just move on. Make of it what you will. Well, rapid onset AIDS. Actually, the slowest moving AIDS in history was patient zero. Now that makes more sense. They would never admit that war-loving Lindsey was killed by the Russians. Too many people would celebrate the irony. It also proves Ukraine will never win this war they started, and the pressure for us to defend them would be deafening. Sidney Paul says, wonder how many with him got that same disease. That's crazy. Fox News, he brief sudden illness. So let's see what they say real quick. Fox with these stupid commercials, man.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Marianne Rafferty. We're following breaking news out of Washington right now. Prominent Republican South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham has died. His office saying on social media that he died from a brief and sudden illness, but right now no additional details have been released. Graham has held his Senate seat since 2003, and he's also chaired the Senate Budget Committee and was seeking a fifth six-year term in November. He was one of the most well-known members of the chamber and also a key voice within the Party of Defense and International Affairs. Graham was fresh off a trip to Ukraine, Kyiv, Ukraine, where he had met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Friday. Graham has been a close ally of President Trump. He's also been considered a war hawk. He was known to be a strong advocate for an interventionist foreign policy, including military action against Iran. Graham also served in the South Carolina House of Representatives from 1993 to 95, and he then served in the U.S. House of Representatives from 1995 to 2003. Graham was 71 years old. Again, if you're just joining us, we're receiving word out of Washington right now that Senator Lindsey Graham has died.
Wow. All right. And then this is some, stuff about Lindsey Graham. Remembering Lindsey Graham's greatest moments, probably AIDS. Could be. Could be. I don't know. Democrats write it. That's right. So. That's right. Hit the chat, hit the like, hit the chat, hit the chat, hit the like chat. Like the chat and hit it. That's right. Check it out. Said it was a rumor going around. All I have so far. Oh, I know. So Lindsey Graham has passed away. That's what I woke up to on the evening of Saturday, July 11th. Lindsey Graham passed away from a brief and sudden illness. There's plenty of time to catalog Graham's decades in the Senate, but this morning my mind went straight to one moment the day Graham saved Brett Kavanaugh's Supreme Court nomination. Bella needs a puppy mate. Well, she's got her little toy there. Yeah, at least he didn't shoot his friend with a shotgun. Yeah. No, don't abuse the chat unless they like it. Oh, there you go. Smash the like button. Thank you. Yes, remember everybody that you can hit the like and subscribe to the channel. It's greatly appreciated. It is. It's greatly appreciated. The timing was sus. It is. The timing was sus. I watched most of Kavanaugh's hearing live back in 2018. Democrats were desperate to sink the nomination. It was a midterm election year. Democrats wanted to postpone the confirmation until after the midterms, hoping the Democrats would reclaim the majority and it would force Trump to nominate someone they approved of. So they went looking for a scandal, and Christine Blasey Ford handed them one. An allegation that Kavanaugh had sexually assaulted her when they were both teenagers, an incident she placed sometime in 1982. Her testimony had holes everywhere. She couldn't say how she got home, pinned down exactly when the incident happened. None of the witnesses she identified could corroborate her account. None of that stopped the media from treating her as credible, sympathetic witnesses while they cast Kavanaugh as a monster. Democrats work the hearing to infuriate me so much. Yeah. My Apple Watch flagged my heart rate. By the time Ford finished testifying, Kavanaugh looked finished. The momentum had shifted hard against him, and Republicans panicked. Then Graham got his 5 minutes. Graham broke from the script that his colleagues had been following and refused to hand his time over to outside prosecutor Rachel Mitchell. He turned straight to Kavanaugh and unloaded. Are you aware that at 9:23 on the night of July 9th, the night you were nominated to the Supreme Court by President Trump, Schumer said 23 minutes after your nomination, I will oppose Kavanaugh's nomination with everything I have, and I hope a bipartisan majority will do the same. The stakes are simply too high for anything else. Well, if you weren't aware of it, you are now. Graham then pressed Kavanaugh on what Feinstein had done with Ford's allegation, which her staff had already sat on for over 20 days before they surfaced. If you wanted an FBI investigation, you could have come to us. What you wanted to do was destroy the guy's life, hold his seat open, and hope you win in 2020. You said that, not me. When you see Sotomayor and Kagan, tell them that Lindsey said hello because I voted for them. I would never do to them what they've done to this guy. This is the most unethical sham since I've been in politics. And if you really wanted to know the truth, you sure as hell wouldn't have done what you've done to this guy. Boy, you all want power. God, I hope you never get it. And that you knew it and held it. You had no intention of protecting Dr. Ford. None. She's just as much of a victim as you are. God, I hate to say it because these have been my friends. Graham also blasted the way Democrats have poisoned the entire process. This is going to destroy the ability of good people to come forward because of this crap. Your high school yearbook, you have interacted with professional women all your life, not one accusation. You're supposed to be Bill Cosby when you're a junior and senior in high school, and then all of a sudden, you got over it. It's been my understanding that if you drug and raped women for 2 years in high school, you probably don't stop. So, yeah, it was a crazy thing, you know. To my Republican colleagues, if you vote no, you're legitimizing the most despicable thing I've seen in my time in politics. Oh, let's hear it. Okay.
Are you aware that at 9:23 on the night of July the 9th, the day you were nominated to the Supreme Court by President Trump, Senator Schumer said, 23 minutes after your nomination, I will oppose Judge Kavanaugh's nomination with everything I have. I have a bipartisan, and I hope a bipartisan majority will do the same. The stakes are simply too high for anything less. Well, if you weren't aware of it, you are now. Did you meet with Senator Dianne Feinstein on August 20th?
I did meet with Senator Feinstein.
Did you know that her staff had already recommended a lawyer to Dr. Ford?
I did not know that.
Did you know that her and her staff had this allegations for over 20 days?
I did not know that at the time.
If you wanted an FBI investigation, you could have come to us. What you want to do is destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope you win in 2020. You've said that, not me. You've got nothing to apologize for. When you see Sotomayor and Kagan, tell them that Lindsey said hello, because I voted for them. I would never do to them what you've done to this guy. This is the most unethical sham since I've been in politics. And if you really wanted to know the truth, you sure as hell wouldn't have done what you've done to this guy. Are you a gang rapist?
No.
I cannot imagine what you and your family have gone through. Boy, y'all want power. God, I hope you never get it. I hope the American people can see through this sham, that you knew about it and you held it. You had no intention of protecting Dr. Ford. None. She's as much of a victim as you are. God, I hate to say it because these have been my friends. But let me tell you, when it comes to this, you're looking for a fair process. You came to the wrong town at the wrong time, my friend. Do you consider this a job interview?
The advice and consent role is like a job.
You consider that you've been through a job interview.
I've been through a process of advice and consent under the Constitution. Which
Would you say you've been through hell?
I've been through hell and then some.
This is not a job interview.
Yeah.
This is hell.
This
is going to destroy the ability of good people to come forward because of this crap. Your high school yearbook. You have interacted with professional women all your life, not one accusation. You're supposed to be Bill Cosby when you're a junior and senior in high school. And all of a sudden you got over it. It's been my understanding that if you drug women and rape them for 2 years in high school, you probably don't stop. Here's my understanding. If you lived a good life, people would recognize it, like the American Bar Association has the gold standard. His integrity is absolutely unquestioned. He is the very circumspect in his personal conduct, harbors no biases or prejudices. He's entirely ethical, is a really decent person. He is warm, friendly, unassuming. He's the nicest person. The ABA. And one thing I can tell you, you should be proud of. Ashley, you should be proud of this, that you raised a daughter who had the good character to pray for Dr. Ford. To my Republican colleagues, if you vote no, you're legitimizing the most despicable thing I have seen in my time in politics. You want this seat? I hope you never get it. I hope you're on the Supreme Court. That's exactly where you should be. And I hope that the American people will see through this charade. And I wish you well. And I intend to vote for you. And I hope everybody who's fair-minded will.
Kimmy Hunt's a 71-year-old heavy drinker, slightly overweight, history of long-term hypertension, very long travel, aortic dissection from arteriosclerosis. Makes perfect sense. Speaking as a retired RN. Okay. Well, I don't know. It seemed odd, coming back from Ukraine. And I was under the impression that senators had very good health care. Like if he had these issues, they should have been checking it out and doing stuff. You know what I mean? Like I thought they go to Walter Reed, just like the president and stuff for medical, and they get to see people. I don't know. Hey, no problem, Finch. Hey, what's up, Becky? How you doing? Great to see you. Uh-huh. I wanted to see Greg make a fool of himself. Well, It's just getting old with him. Just because he has good health care doesn't mean he's compliant with his regimen. I know. I was just worried, Kimmy. I was like, man, they're going to try to say it was like a poison or it was something. It was the Russians. It was the Iranians. That's what my military industrial complex senses were tingling. Like, oh, God. Yeah, just getting started. So that was some of his highlights, And then, Trump reveals details of the final phone call he had with Graham after the senator's death.
He respected it. And we sort of got a little bit friendly, and the friendship grew. It just grew. And he was an amazing advocate. I don't know how you find anybody like him. He was so intense. I mean, he literally called me about the Save America Act. That's why that's where I heard it. Think of it. He's traveling for many, many hours. That's a long flight. That's a long trip. And he, calls me about the Save America Act. He thought we were going to get it passed.
Do you remember
This is a big blow to the Save America Act, let me tell you.
Call them about the Save America Act. That was their final conversation. They should pass it to honor Lindsey. That's what they should do. That's what they should do. They should pass it to honor Lindsey. This is the call. Radio traffic from the response to Graham's home. Emergency radio traffic indicates Senator Graham suffered chest pains before going into cardiac arrest Saturday night. Efforts to revive the lawmaker were not successful. He died 2 days after his 71st birthday. It's the second time within a month that D.C. Fire and EMS were dispatched to the Capitol home of a U.S. senator reported to be in cardiac arrest.
In response, Federal 7 response, chest pains, South Capitol Street, Southeast. In response, Federal 7 response, chest pains, South Capitol Street, Southeast. And let's respond to medical level.
Well, that's what I was worried about.
Respond for chest pains, South Capitol Street,
That's what I was worried about, Kimmy. He was with Zelensky less than 24 hours before he died. It's like, okay. Hey, Renee Collins, awesome to see you. Jim is Spider-Man. Yeah, my senses were tingling. Let's see the list of medication he was on. Yes. Everything is not a conspiracy. No, I know. But sometimes they'll make it out to be a conspiracy if it serves their purposes. He was reported to have been hospitalized at Walter Reed shortly before his death. I didn't see that anywhere. Chest pains, immediately eat an aspirin. Okay. The baseball player on that newspaper is Chris Hackapane of the Texas A&M WAPO paper from today. Okay. None of your business. When I was 30, 71 sounded old. Now that I'm 69, 71 sounds too young. Yeah.
I just sent me communications for a call back. You have open the front door.
Hi, copy. Same. I have a call back 2032.
I just 7-5.
I just 7. The caller says she's not in the home. She says the door is unlocked. Could you guys let me know?
Deadbolt is secured.
I copy. Stand by. Communication engine 7. The caller says, have you tried knocking at the door to see if the patient will answer?
Yes, repeatedly.
Communications engine 7. The caller states that she's coming from Baltimore to get to your location. Would you like a truck to force entry in MPD?
We'll need MPD. We'll force entry.
Copy. Requested MPD 2035. Come in, engine 7.
Go ahead and start me the CPR supervisor. CPR in progress now.
I copy. CPR in progress 2033. EMS 6 responders, requesting engine 7 at 7 on scene, cardiac arrest, South Capitol Street, Southeast. EMS 6 responders, requesting engine 7 medic 7 with cardiac arrest. 73-year-old male at South Capitol Street, Southeast. That channel is 311 2054. 28 engine 7, you have EMS 6.
Engine 7 about that.
2054.
Behind you to communications.
Come in behind you too.
You can attach me to the run with engine 7 to medic 7 on South Capitol Street. There is no need for a tax channel.
All right. And so the medical examiner releases preliminary findings. KK says Kiki says that Presidents John Adams and Thomas Jefferson died on the same day. I wonder if their speculation was like this back in the day. I think Jefferson died first, if I'm not mistaken. I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think Jefferson died in the morning and then Adams died later. I think. I don't think that will happen, though. It looks like everyone is chill. They will let this crisis go to waste. Good. They had plenty of time to grow a turtle clone since June. Does he believe Kavanaugh was a rapist? Am I confused? No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He thought it was all lies. So the medical examiner released preliminary findings. Preliminary examinations were aortic dissection due to arteriosclerotic cardiovascular disease. Death certificate will be pending until all the toxicological and microscopic testing are finalized. And at that point, the death certificate will be updated to reflect the cause of death and appropriately classify the manner of death. In layman's terms, this means a tear in the aorta caused by hardening. The FBI assisting with local authorities, however, and Fox News reported that foul play is not suspected in Lindsey Graham's death. They'll use Lindsey Graham's death to get the attention off of the turtle. Yeah. It's hard to give up bacon. Well, yeah, I mean, sitting on a long flight is not good for someone with cardiovascular disease. So Trump called Lindsey Graham one of the greatest people and senators he's ever known. Senator Graham, one of the greatest people and senators I've ever known, is dead. He was always working and was a true American patriot. Lindsey will be greatly missed. Details and arrangements to follow. Trump ordered all flags lowered to half-mast. It's not bacon. Okay. In honoring remarkable life and achievement, a dear friend of mine, Lindsey Graham, a truly great man who achieved so much for our country and beloved in his home state of South Carolina, I'm ordering all American flags throughout the United States to be lowered to half-mast until Saturday evening at 6 p.m. So for a whole week, they're at half-mast. Well, and then it says this is a church praying. An Israeli patriot is what the Thrustazar says. Okay. Pigs don't live long enough to have heart attacks. Okay. Well, that drunk Pelosi's still alive. You are what you eat. Still down 2 more votes. Yeah. Bacon is not the problem. Donuts are. Okay.
Everyone thanks veterans for their service to our country. We take it a step further by assisting veterans
put an
and their
ad for a
families
funeral
to
home
receive
on
the
this
burial
story
benefits
about
they earned at national cemeteries, which includes free burial space,
Starting our service off just a little bit different today. We're going to be remembering, we're going to be praying for Senator Lindsey Graham's family. Tragically, yesterday, late afternoon into the evening and night, he passed away. Very sudden. And so our heart is with his sister, Darlene, and the rest of the family.
It sure did.
I spoke with her a couple of times this morning, and I assured her that we would be praying for her and supporting her in any way that we possibly can. So this morning, I want to invite you to join your heart with mine, and let's just lift their family up. And as we think about the passing of Senator Lindsey Graham, one thing that stands really out to me is his love for America. And I was blessed to be able to talk to him and know him and be friends with him. And one thing he always wanted to talk about was his country. And we've talked about other things, but he always wanted to talk about his country. He eat, sleep, and breathe what he did. The last conversation that I had with him just a couple of weeks ago ended in prayer. As I always ended our conversations in prayer, we just prayed for wisdom and knowledge and discernment. And so, as we think about moving forward, as we think about what happens in the time to come, whether we love or like or always agree with our leaders, we have a duty as Christians to pray for them. And so right now, we're going to just continue to have a regular worship service, but we just wanted to pause for a minute. And I want to pray, and I want to pray over the Graham family. So let's join our hearts together. Father, we thank you for this day. We know that you have made this day, and we know your word tells us that we can rejoice and be glad in that. But God, it's a sad day. But Father, I pray that you would have your hand upon Darlene and upon Senator Graham's family. I know there are colleagues that's going to miss him and friends that's going to miss him. And I pray, God, that you would minister to them in a way that only you can right now. God, we know that your grace is sufficient. So we pray that you would do that which only a holy God can do. So we lift them up to you today. We lift our country up to you today and its leaders, God. And again, we pray for wisdom and knowledge and discernment. For we say and we pray, and we ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Today we're going to...
I thought that was Ted Cruz that fried the bacon on the barrel of the rifle. Wasn't that Ted Cruz? I didn't think that was Lindsey Graham. I thought that was Ted Cruz. Pretty sure it was Ted Cruz. He was a porker. I'm pretty sure that was Ted Cruz with the rifle. I don't think it was Lindsey Graham. I hate to bring this up, but didn't Lindsey say Russians are dying, best money ever spent? Yeah, he did say that. He did say that. Oh, shit. Yeah, same thing took John Ritter out. Remember that? Oh, that's right. John Ritter. Yeah. That was very unexpected. He was doing that. What was that? 8 Simple Rules for My Daughter, Dating My Daughter or something like that, wasn't it? It was a good show. That was the first show that Kelly Kiyoko was on, the one from Big Bang Theory. She was a younger girl. Yeah, John Ritter. That sounds more like Ted Cruz move than Lindsey Graham. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Ted Cruz that fried the bacon on there. Yes, it did. Yes, he did. Hey, Doc, what's up? Good to see you, bud. Great to have you here, Doc. Awesome. So pray for Lindsey. This just says Lindsey Graham likely died after aortic tear, medical examiner says. Trump pays tribute to Lindsey, one of the greatest people I've ever known. And then here's Zelensky says, good meeting with Lindsey Graham today in Kiev. This is already his 10th visit to our country. We appreciate his support.
Happy meals. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Can you see me again? Sure, good to see you. Good to see you.
Thank you for coming, Lindsey.
Yeah, got a little update for you here.
Yeah.
Just tell me when I can talk. But good visit with the president, right?
Yeah, I think that we had really a good meeting.
Yeah,
the mood was good, and we had some very important results. And I think that the decision of President Trump about licenses, positive signals about Patriot licenses, very important.
Wow, Patriot license was important. Kimmy, isn't that called a Widowmaker? Is it called a Widowmaker? I thought a Widowmaker was a different kind of I didn't know, but when it tears, I don't think that's, maybe that is it. Maybe Lindsey was a porker. Was he? Low vitamin C levels over time contribute to aortic tears. Oh, wow. Colleagues and leaders pay tribute to Lindsey Graham. Tributes are pouring in for Lindsey Graham, who died a brief and sudden illness. Trump called him one of the greatest people he knew. Graham was running for the election for seeking a 5th term. He'd served as the chair of the Senate Budget Committee, was on the Judiciary Committee and a committee for appropriations. Occlusion is a widowmaker, I think. No, a big dead tree is called a widowmaker. Okay. I used to get 2 pounds of ends and pieces and cook them up and eat it all. Wow. Iranian TV congratulates the people. Yeah, I saw it. I used to do that with chicken gizzards, fry them up, nothing better than fresh out of the skillet, but ends are great too. All meat is good. Yeah, meat's good for you, good meat. That one. Okay. All right. All right. So Zelensky, another world leader of the country, strongly supported by Graham, offered tribute to him. Deeply saddened about the news of the passing of Lindsey Graham. He was a true defender of freedom. He visited Ukraine 10 times. South Carolina lost a statesman and a friend. The other senator, Tim Scott, said, "My prayers are with his sister and the rest of his family. My heart's heavy this morning with the passing of my friend and colleague." That's what John Thune said. Hunter Biden's Sunday morning tribute on X recalled Graham once calling former President Biden the nicest person Graham has ever met in politics and as good as man as God ever created. That is Senator Graham I'll remember today, not because I have forgotten what came after, because in the memory there is hope. Oh, well, good for you. Former president also wrote on X that we disagreed often, sometimes loudly. Lindsey and I agreed on the profound importance of public service. He loved the Senate as an institution, even with all its flaws and complexities. To his family and staff and constituents who loved him, Jill and I are keeping you in our prayers. George Bush said in a statement that they were saddened to wake up to the shocking news. So, he was a knowledgeable senator who understood how the world works and how important America's international engagement is to resist tyranny. He was kind and funny man who loved our country. Funny how? Funny like a clown? Funny like he amuses you? Damn it, Instagram ended again after an hour. I don't know. Instagram hates me for some reason now. They keep ending it after an hour. Oh, well. I have to just probably stop doing Instagram altogether. And then, so here's a picture of Lindsey Graham in heaven with George Floyd and Hulk Hogan. So the Widowmaker is the left anterior descending artery. A blockage there is often fatal. I know because I have a stent there. Okay. Everybody has a ticket to ride. Yes, they do. Nobody gets out alive. That's right. It's like that Jim Morrison, right? Nobody gets out of here alive. We will eventually. My dad worked out daily. He's 93 and still mostly mobile. Quality of life is a big difference. Oh. Red meat is really good for us. Heart healthy. Did Lindsey Graham just introduce legislation to help get to Save America on the floor for a vote, no matter how it had to get done? I don't know. I don't know. No. And Iranian TV, I congratulate the Iranian people on the death of U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham, who's been sent to hell. None of us are getting out of here alive. Just kidding about the tree. A Widowmaker is a heart attack that occurs due to 100% blockage in the left anterior descending LAD artery. It supplies a large amount of the blood to the heart. I am 100% blocked on one side and 75% on the other, they say. Well, you should get that fixed. The hell is this person saying? That's crazy. I know that's AI because George Floyd isn't in heaven. Okay. Shorzy said Lindsey was a degenerate frack. He's not in heaven. Sorry, off topic. Oh yeah, that was definitely off topic. Sweet tower apps for live. Like cement, they cannot even put these things to open the vein. Wow. Every year, the damn Widowmaker over my house makes me nervous. My girlfriend would climb up and push, and I'd get the rope. Winds from Columbia, George. Wow. Blockages are hard to roto-root or split. Oh. Don't they do can't you get a bypass or something like that, Hank? Isn't that what they're supposed to do? Some kind of a bypass? Like they reroute it? Roto-root it? Reroute it? The door is 5-1. Yes. The Iranian regime cheered the passing of Lindsey Graham. According to Grok, the attached video below is a short clip from Iranian state TV showing a female news anchor in a black hijab. The unattractive TV host is speaking about the reported death of U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham. I congratulate the Iranian people. The Persian text at the bottom, the ticker says, roughly, American media announced Lindsey Graham has died. The cause of his passing has been announced as a sudden illness. Graham was America's most anti-Iranian senator and one of the supporters of attacking Iran. You had a triple bypass and 7 to 9 heart attacks later. Wow. Hank, I'm sorry to hear that.
عرض کنم به درک واصل شدن لیندسی گراهام. سناتور جنگ طلب و
So she's saying that she loves Lindsey Graham and she wants to have many babies with him. Don't think I could survive another bypass. For later about us bombing Iran. Oh, bomb, Iran. Yes, we did start bombing Iran again. I will keep that there. So, and on to the next story, folks. Communism is creeping into the United States, people. We've got scumbags like Bernie Sanders, AOC, this Kami Madami, these other people winning. And so what's going on is you've got scum like Sanders, the guy who honeymooned in the Soviet Union, proposing an AI sovereign wealth fund. They want to confiscate 50% of all revenue from all AI in the U.S. and put it in a fund to be distributed to who exactly? The people, they say. The people. You know, they want to seize the means of production if it's AI. That's what they're saying. I don't think she's anyone's type, maybe. Durka, Muhammad Jihad. Yes. All AI, but this was only to test reply of gamers like Overwatch. One's most likely AI sounds like Charlie K. A winner. Okay, thank you. Ladybug says she is not his type. Thank you, Allegan News. Take care of yourself and take your meds. Do what they say. So you don't have any heart attacks. Yes. I learned recently if we don't have enough D3 and K2 in our system, the calcium and collagen that we eat in our food, it goes into our veins instead of our bones. Wow. They usually try stents these days before bypass. Yes. My dad is supposed to be going for an angio something or other in August. He needs they're talking about a stent for him, but he's 82. So AI will figure out a way to avoid it. Yes. But if the blockages are hard, they can't stint or route to stint. Yeah. So the Sanders AI Sovereign Wealth Fund Act is a death sentence for American technology leadership. What would be the quickest way to destroy America's global leadership? Bernie Sanders appears to have an answer. He recently introduced the American AI Sovereign Wealth Act, a measure that would give the federal government significant control over computation in America. Jerry says maybe distribute it to all the affected negatively by AI job loss, etc. If they were going to do that fun thing, especially if killed by a Waymo or something. Well, yeah, if you're killed by a Waymo, just take it from the company or something. This is just anytime that the communists are talking about seizing money, it makes me sketchy. Renee says I have 3 stents. I destroyed my lower left ventricle, angioplast. Just had an angiogram on Wednesday, stent placed. Okay. They want China to lead in the race for global supremacy in AI. Might be tempting to dismiss the proposal as another wide-eyed idea from Sanders, who's well-known socialist views. He's a communist. He's not a socialist. Let's stop screwing around. We got to stop calling these people socialists. They're communists. The issue is he thinks AI, a violation of copyright, should be collected and redistributed, not given to those AI stole from. New York Jim is trying to get rid of 3D printing, not just for ghost guns, but for manufacturing as well. Oh, yeah, these commies are trying to just screw everything up, man. You know, these are the same people who were saying, oh, my God, we're going to have to do something to protect the horse carriages from the new cars. What's going to happen to all the blacksmiths? They're going to lose their jobs. I mean, more jobs will come, different types of jobs. Class A says, funny how so many of the less government people are cheering for more government when it comes to data center and AI. You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding, Class A, 2A. Thank you so much for the 5. That means, folks, we are now just 69. 69, dude. We're just $69 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much. They are communists with extra steps. That's what I'm saying. Sweetar Apps for Life says, eat right, drink a lot of clean water, take your daily pills, try to work out. Yeah. Supposedly, if you eat right, you won't have to take pills. I don't know. Shorzy said, Elon says AI is going to make us all rich. Just Jew billionaires are hard at work trying to find ways to share their wealth with us. Oh, okay. Cool. VA heart doctors discriminated against smokers. Yes, they do. Sanders' bill potentially softens the ground for advancement of these proposals, all which should be rejected. So the new bill proposes a 50% tax on firms with 200 million or more in annual gross receipts that operate data centers, computing infrastructure, and advanced robotics. Here's the thing. It's a tax. So they're going to spend the money on other shit. They're going to say, oh, we're going to get a fund. We're going to do this. But no, they're going to just take it and spend it, or they'll pay off the debt. They'll do stuff with it. They're not going to give it to the people. I almost peed seeing Lindsey hugging Floyd. Yeah, well, it happens. The money will be used to create a new $7 trillion sovereign wealth fund that would make direct payments to at least $1,000 to every citizen. While the bill would not nationalize AI outright, it would give the government considerable control over firms involved in advanced computation. To deal with the problem of firms that have both AI and non-AI businesses, the measure requires structural separation of their AI business. So it mandates you have to separate AI out, such that the government can control the AI side of those firms. This move would be massively destabilizing to markets and would sever the internal cross subsidies those firms use to invest in advanced computation systems and facilities. In some cases, it's not even clear how much a separation would work because their systems are not neatly compartmentalized. AI is baked in almost all services now. The reach of this measure would extend beyond leading AI firms like Dell, IBM, Tesla, NVIDIA, Waymo, and many others. For firms like OpenAI and Anthropic, which are more exclusively focused on AI, the tax would hit them directly. These firms remain unprofitable. However, while their revenues are growing, their R&D expenditures are growing faster. According to the recently leaked financial reports, OpenAI suffered net operating losses of 237% and 160%. Wow. Yes, like Allegan's right here. Social Security was supposed to stay in its own fund, but it has never. It's never believed the government when it comes to what funds will be used for. That's right. Yes, Social Security was in a lockbox. Remember when they used to talk about that? It's a Social Security lockbox. The problem was that all the scumbags in Washington had the keys to the lockbox, and they never locked it. They just left it open, and they would just take the money out and put in IOUs. So right now, that's all it's full is IOUs. That's why we don't have. That's why we're running out of money, because they spent it on other stuff. Hey, what's up, Jen? Great to see you. So these leading AI labs are also engaged in a price-cutting battle to compete with each other. So they're not gonna. It's gonna undercut each other in a global market. AI systems are in the hope of eventually becoming profitable and meeting competition domestically and globally. And this is Soviet-style thinking. The Sanders bill will also politicize the AI ecosystem by putting bureaucrats in positions to heavily influence market decisions. Like, that's right. Get premium biltong meats from biltongusa.com. They need money for their sexual harassment fund so they could get reelected. Yes, definitely. They are just trying to create a slush fund to steal money from Nancy Pelosi stole from Social Security. That's right. That's all they're trying to do. An independent commission for democratic AI. Yeah. Which would include 7 members representing labor interests, large fund management, AI safety concerns, privacy interests, and public safety interests. They will run at losses while they build infrastructure and build new AI models, just like Amazon. They can make profit, but chose not to so they can build. Yeah, that's what they do. Sanders, who famously spent a very strange honeymoon with his wife in the Soviet Union, seems to have borrowed some ideas from the communist central planners when designing his bill. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union and other Eastern Bloc states created many ministries and planning bodies for all major industrial sectors thought to be of strategic significance to the state. The Communist Party members sat on all the planning bodies and made strict demands of all the affected sectors. The result was massive political corruption and economic misery. Because that's where it goes. One important distinction is the Soviet apparatchiks very much wanted to ensure the robust development of the sectors and technologies under their control. That does not seem to be Sanders' goal, with his new AI socialization effort. In fact, in March, Sanders and Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez introduced the AI Data Centers Moratorium Act, which proposes a federal ban on data centers until multiple laws are passed to ensure that the systems are safe and effective. Wow, too bad they didn't pass laws to make sure other things were safe and effective. This would create a regulatory standard for AI that would be impossible to satisfy, eventually blocking further development. It's strange that Sanders believes his new AI sovereign fund will generate $7 trillion when he simultaneously is looking to block the very engine of AI development. Those data centers are not just data centers. While Sanders is motivated by a desire to share the wealth, it's important to remember that private AI innovators are already providing America with a massive private sector stimulus program, which many economists argue is the fundamental driver of economic growth today. I'm so mad at AI. They AI me as Avatar on Twitch being funny. Sorry if this is wrong. He does. It's like AI. Feinstein, another congressman who died in office. She was a senator. Sanders is trying to replace the money that they lost in USAID. Well, that's what they're trying to do. They want the money to go to the commies. It's all about commie money. The commies need the money. The commies need the money. Without the money, the commies can't be funny. They can't make people laugh when they dance around to the games. Our government found out how to transmit power wirelessly about 2 years ago. Oh, that's crazy. Tesla found that out 80 years ago, didn't he? 1 second. Hey, what's up? Just me. When my father, whatever that means. While these AI firms and their workers and investors are making massive bets on the future, there's no guarantee their systems or approaches will pan out. Some skeptics believe the current AI investment book is just a massive bubble that could pop at any moment. That's what I believe. I believe it's going to go. Yeah, but huge loss in power when you do it. Okay. This points to a different problem with the Sanders bill. The idea that the government taking stakes in AI firms because it means the public might get left footing the cost of failing companies the government partially controls. 55,000 kilowatts per unit you see in front of each data unit. Okay. Hey, Roselle Jam, what's up? Great to see you. To me, both our parties are failing, and also distributism, capitalism, and socialism. You don't need that much power for computers. So I don't know what they're doing. And they're done. Well, they need a lot of energy for the cooling, don't they? NASCAR Mo, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. So Sanders claims that his fund will not bail out failing firms. A government stake sends a signal to market participants that should a company get into trouble, the government will step in. Yeah, they'll just take the money, but if something goes wrong, they go, no, we just take the money. We don't, if there's a problem, we don't have anything to do with it. We just take the money. That's what Sanders is. No. So Sanders wants to be like the communist mob, where they basically just go, no matter what, fuck you, pay me. Can't pay the bills, go and lose the money, don't care, fuck you, pay me. That's like from Goodfellas, remember? When they do the bust out and burn it down. The guy is better than lazy and layers on his party. Watch Total Recall 2012, Jim. Okay. I watched, you're talking about the movie 2012 where the whole world flips around, or Total Recall with the one when you go to Mars? My GPU consume 400 plus watts on its own. Compute eats energy big time. It is work after all. Yeah, my GPU eats over 600 watts. It's a biggin. Cooling pumps don't take that much power. Okay. Energy is mostly to run the computers. They use natural gas-fired engines from Boom to make their own power plant. Okay. Not Total Recall, made in 2012. Oh. Muslims gave it to Sanders. Why haven't you fixed healthcare yet? Mullins gave it to Sanders. Why haven't you fixed healthcare yet? I don't know. Father was getting ready for cancer surgery. They found out artery was about to burst. Doc said, had it burst while it fixed it, couldn't have saved him. Wow. crazy. Even if they were in, some of them things are like that. Even if you're in the hospital and there's nothing they can do. Somali gang violence. Yeah, I saw some of this stuff. It's crazy about the sheriff. So, in theory, the moral hazard could be addressed through oversight by the proposed commission. However, the effectiveness of prudential regulation is questionable. In the first place, regulators tend to prefer a one-size-fits-all approach. Just me, your dad was very lucky. Yes. Speaking of power, this is the way. What is it? The new, is that the new small modular reactors? Yeah, I've seen a bunch of stuff about that. Looks good. So petro-state politics. In addition to the difficulty of regulation, there's an inherent conflict in tasking regulatory agencies with both constraining the risk-taking behavior of an industry while simultaneously ensuring that it delivers the financial performance required to meet the political goals. However, where the Civil Aeronautics Board, Interstate Commerce Commission, or other previous regulatory bodies depended on their particular industry's performance to maintain their political legitimacy, the proposed AI Commission would be on the hook to meet a set dividend to voters on a recurrent basis. Got to make the numbers fit. Yes. If in this AI Commission's case, the regulatory action that addresses excessive risk-taking on the part of firms may nevertheless harm their performance and thus affect the fund's ability to provide the benefits promised by the political sponsors. Yeah. So, and it would become a liability for taxpayers. While sovereign wealth funds come in many varieties, studies have identified several of their common failings, including a lack of transparency, the tendency to suffer from political pressures. And most wealth funds are formed around revenues derived from natural resources like oil that are abundant in some nations. AI systems are nothing like this, and as one analyst notes, it would be dangerous to apply a petrostate model to the computational economy because the resources, in this case, would be pried out of a working economy rather than pumped out of the ground. Yeah, it's crazy. Fusion is the next big thing. Trump owns TAE, a leading fusion developer owned under the True Social outfit. I'm a stockholder. Well, that seems awesome. This fucking perv fund pisses me off. Yes, me too. West Virginia is building a ton of data centers, and the property taxes for one of the centers is $1 to $4 million a year. Well, that's okay. Say no to central control of AI. While the Sanders bill is unlikely to attract widespread support due to its highly destructive directives, even a variant of these ideas should give policymakers pause. Let's hope so. Yes. Amen. Rest in peace, Lindsey Graham. The Senate will never be the same. Moment of silence for Lindsey Graham. All right. So. And then a new poll came out, says a majority of U.S. workers want an AI sovereign wealth fund. You go, wow, they did a poll? Crazy. Yeah, so a majority of U.S. employees now want to hold corporations more accountable. A recent poll, a survey of 1,690 people. Well, who did you poll? By research firm Verisight, which carried out in June and published earlier this month, suggested that 69% of Americans now want to support forcing AI firms to transfer 50% of their stock to a public sovereign wealth fund. In the eyes of the public, the AI sovereign funds are seen as a tool to distribute the gains back to the broader society. Where did they poll? Who did they poll? Fucking communists? The DSA? You know, yeah, AI did the poll. Yeah, can't steal it. Someday I'll look before I hit post. Senator Sanders proposed this if passed, and it would guarantee the economic benefits generated by AI are used to improve the lives of us all. One of those 55,000 kilowatt units outside a data center can power 2,700 Tesla robots at 1 to 2 kilowatts per bot. Okay. Well, yeah. So they say, oh, we polled 1,600 people in. Yes, it's completely communist. Completely communist. 100% communist. Yes, we're going to seize 50% of your businesses. I mean, I guess I would say in a capitalist free society, if you want to make money off AI, invest in AI. Socialists want to turn AI into a $7 billion slush fund. Realists know that would throw America's greatest assets away. This fucking clown. The AI industry is growing at a fast pace, but so is skepticism about where it will lead. Capitalizing on those fears, commie wacko Bernie Sanders proposed an American AI Sovereign Wealth Fund Act, which has grabbed headlines for claiming it will raise not 7 billion, 7 trillion is what they claim, to distribute $1,000 to every American. It's pie in the sky, doomed from the start. Investors of Altamore Capital floated an alternative. They proposed key players voluntarily give up a much smaller stake in their companies, which the federal government could then distribute to the people. Gessner even said he's spoken with top players like Musk, Altman, and Dario Amati, although they didn't reveal what they told him about participating. So they're actually talking about it. Well, maybe we should just come up with something and give something to the government to give back to people. Instagram just let you back on. They were the longest cancel from all platforms. Wow. Take and redistribute it, telling people that they're getting free shit. Standard politics and communist playbook. Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? Distributism is key for rural societies, and Georgism is key for big cities, big urban areas. For example, a 4U rack with 20 servers at 350 watts each equals a 7 kilowatt IT load. Bernie never offers 50% of his book sales to the people. Yeah, why doesn't he do that? Hubba. So yeah, so that's what's going on. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. All right. Now we got this story here. We just dropped bunker busters on Iran's 4th tactical fighter base in Desfoul, western Iran. The strikes were reportedly carried out focusing on underground missile storage facilities. What's his cases of explosive diarrheas? If Bernie is for it, he's figured out a way to get a kickback from it. It takes a communist to figure out how to capitalize corruption. Hey, Neat Scholar, what's up? Good to see you. Iroll says, mine's over 2,000. Just kidding. I have no clue what the F that is. I don't know what that means. A lot of younger people simply aren't employable. They're going to need to be taken care of until they inherit their parents' monies. So we have better scheme than welfare to take care of them. That's just a reality. Oh, well, you know what usually happens when that Liberty Twitcher, I'm going to be just 100 with you here. When society gets to that point, they usually have a war to get rid of those people. That's what they do. They have a big war and kill them off. I'm not saying I'm promoting that idea. I'm just saying that's normally how they take care of it. If you look throughout history. Mm-hmm. The problem with socialism is that it runs out of the other people's money. Yes, that's the problem. It doesn't look like we're slowing down at all. This could be the strikes that finally sink the Islamo-fascist regime. Keep the pedal down, boys. Wow. Before we had welfare, you can always take out your trash or mow your lawn, yeah, for reasonable wage. Wow, that looks like a big old boom, boom, ba boom, boom. Boom, ba boom, boom, ba boom, 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 bombs, boom, 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 boom. Wow. I love a good mushroom cloud early in the morning. Yes. Wow. Wow. Crazy. So we used the GBU-31 JDAM, a 2,000-pound joint direct attack munition, the GBU-24 Paveway 3 laser-guided bomb, and the Blue 109 bunker buster warhead. We keeping the pedal down. It's gotten real. New footage from Bandar Abbas. Multiple explosions. Oh, this looks like some great fireworks. Yeah, it's crazy, right? And it seems like there may be a big war brewing up, so the unemployable may have some busy but short careers ahead of them. Yes, that's how they do it. Hey, we got a new member. Wait, where'd he go? New member, Christine became a member on YouTube. Thank you so much, Christine. Seeing the Matrix. Wow. Thank you so much. That means she's a member of Seeing the Matrix, so that means that's $10 off. So we're now just $59 away, folks. Just $59 away from a first additional hour of the show. Thank you so much, Christine. Big donor tonight, Christine. Are they going to do an autopsy on Graham? Yes, they're doing an autopsy on Graham. Yep, like the 4th of July. That's right. Rockets, where bombs in the air. Yes. Yeah, a doctor trained by the doctor that did Kennedy. There you go. New York Times questions whether it was a valid military target for the U.S. to have bombed steel plants. They're what's called dual use technologies, dual use. So more expensive than fireworks are for sure. Yes, definitely. Better looking too. Is there any more here? Nice secondaries. Make it biblical. Let's go. So U.S. launches more strikes on Iran as the standoff over the Strait of Hormuz escalates. U.S. military has launched several waves of strikes on Iran over Tehran's attacks on the Straits of Hormuz. The war of fog, yes. So keep SpaceX? I would. Well, I know that's not strange for someone to suddenly die, but Graham's case is suspicious. And just like the 4th of July, the Democrats are griping out about many fireworks. Yeah. Yes, they are. Trump orders Iran strikes to secure the strategic strait. That's right. Iran claimed they were in control of the Strait of Hormuz. And Trump said, okay, let's see. The United States has carried out a new round of strikes against Iran. Centcom said Sunday that American forces began operations at 5 p.m. Eastern time, targeting Iran in order to continue degrading its capacity to attack civilian sailors and commercial vessels traveling through the Strait of Hormuz. I was just saying the other day we may need a good world war so the privileged socialist youth can learn how to do a good job, even if it's short. Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what they usually do. Ank says my dad hit the floor 3 days before his 80th birthday. Aneurysm in his brain. Wow. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, and to get rid of the monopolies that ruin all our society. Well, that's what they got to do. Zelensky is a weasel. Yes, he is. Anyone want a nice house on a dead-end road? I need Republicans in my neighborhood. My husband had a brother die the day after Mother's Day a few years ago. My husband found him lying on the floor in his bathroom, naked, his face down, and water still running in the tub. Wow. That's horrible. World war is the way the people in control get rid of the people when they get too smart. Yeah. That's how it always works. That's how it always works, my friends. That's how they do. That's how they do. Look at that little Bella just chilling there. Look at her. So Centcom said the strikes were ordered by President Trump to hold the Iranian forces accountable. Did Jim just pronounce that Hormuz? Yes, Hormuz. That's how it's pronounced, Hormuz. Yeah, he had the shingles a few weeks before he died. Uh-oh. I was worried you were going to say the shingles shot. Little going away present. Wow. He died of a heart attack. He had his arms holding his chest. Oh, man. Scary. The governor of Keshem Island, located near the Strait, told Iran's state-run TV that the agency that projectiles had struck military targets but reported no casualties. Explosions were heard in the coastal city of Bandar Abbas in the Hajibad, farther north. You had the single shot, but not the booster. I had the booster. U.S. officials speaking to the Associated Press is on the condition of anonymity, said several strikes hit missile and air defense systems, as well as paramilitary Revolutionary Guard boats at multiple sites, with the aim of further limiting Iran's ability to threaten commercial shipping in the region. A U.S. Central Command spokesperson told CNN that Iranian forces had carried out additional attacks on commercial vessels traveling through the Strait of Hormuz, a critical passageway for roughly a fifth of the oil supply of the world. Tensions remain high. Iranian forces attacked a container ship. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth vowed revenge, saying Iran made a poor choice. Now they pay. U.S. military retaliated by hitting some 140 targets, including missiles and drone launch sites. We bombed the hell out of them last night, Trump said. Iran then responded with attacks on Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, Jordan, and Oman, the nation on the other side of the strait that Tehran has pressed to collaborate in managing shipping traffic. The Iranian officials insist they alone must control the strait and have the authority to potentially charge vessels for traveling through it. That ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. He was 65 years old, like Senator Graham, never married, no children, was born in South Kakalaki. Hormuz is correct. That's how I pronounce it. In the era of one-sided deals is over, says Mohammed Baghdad Queef Balf, Speaker of Iran's parliament and the main negotiator. We told you, keep your word or pay the price. Reality is knocking. Well, we'll see. We hear you knocking, but you can't come in. We're not even going to knock. We're just going to knock the door down. The IRGC also declared the strait closed until further notice, vowing to attack additional enemy bases in the region. Why do they think they own it? I don't know. It's crazy. Muhammad Jihad. The U.S. said that munitions hit Iranian targets on Saturday had been launched by aircraft, drones, and vessels. Iranian forces had claimed the Cyprus flag container ship was targeted on Saturday, which American authorities named as the MV GFS Galaxy was attempting to use the unauthorized route to cross the strait. Its attack on the ship came as Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi met with his Omani counterpart on Saturday to discuss the strait, which they're lying. They attacked the people that were traveling through the northern area, the Iranian route. The people traveling through the southern route by Oman are protected by U.S. warships. That's my meme, Immobile Reaper. Araghchi explained the meeting in Muscat, Oman was meant to discuss appropriate mechanisms for ensuring the safe passage of ships. Here's the appropriate mechanism. Stop launching fucking attacks on the ships. What I noticed was they had a great big feast for Mother's Day. A brother-in-law brought a ton of some kind of meat. I wasn't there. So I said, maybe the meat causes death. Wow. Which I shouldn't have said it. And the brother-in-law got mad at me. Well, you know what they say. Fuck them if they can't take a joke. Iran is the bumble after Hermie, Trump pulling his teeth. Oh, yes. Okay, yeah, from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, yes. Hermie, the dentist in Bumble. Oh, Bumble's bounce. Christine was already a member. It said she became a member. That's what it said. World War I is still going. It started with Eve eating that fruit and getting her husband in on it. Wow. Joke them if they can't take a fuck. Yeah, that's what I said. Did you know the first Apple One personal computer sold for $666.66? Wow. the mark of the beast. So Amani and Iranian negotiators were set to continue talks on a technical level. It's a technical foul. It's a technical foul. Remember that movie, 8 Crazy Nights? A multinational body overseen by the U.S. Navy also said that traffic continued at reduced levels off both Oman and Iran, and that 140 vessels transited daily before the war. Mm-hmm. U.S. launches more strikes as standoff over the strait escalates. I remember Max Headroom. Funny song. They can't take a joke by Bowser and the Blue. I've been into computers for 45 years now. Well, you better get out of there. You shouldn't be inside the computer for that long. If you're inside a computer for that long, man, you're going to get poisoned. There's all types of stuff in there that can really screw you up. Oh, Liberty Twitcher says direct hits reported on U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain. Wow. Trash 80. Cool. Yes. Yeah, I know how to go too and run. Pony fans trying to call me out because it's YMC Pony. Being funny still. Sorry if this avatar is not funny. Okay, I don't know. You mixed mass head rum. Trash 80. Yeah. Hello, Jim. How's your day going? It's going good. Sweet daydreams. Oh, family frisky when you come out of hiding. Hi, daydreams. Jim's doing dad jokes. Yes, he is.
The U.S. military has struck again in Iran. It's the 3rd round of airstrikes we've seen in recent days as an interim deal to end the Iran war looks more in danger than ever before.
All right. Now, you see this video that we're playing right now? This looks like the same video I played yesterday. And some dude in Israel tried to claim it as his video. And it's U.S. military video. Like, this is the U.S. military stuff that they filmed on the boat and they gave to people. And people are trying to put like Associated Press has put their watermark on it. Like somehow this belongs to them. It doesn't belong to anybody. It belongs to our tax dollars paid for this. Yet people are trying to copyright this footage. I don't get it.
Iran had attacked a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, a container ship. It caught fire and the crew abandoned it. The U.S. immediately launched these airstrikes afterwards, targeting some 140 sites in Iran.
See, it says unclassified. That means this is military footage. I don't know how people can try to claim this shit. I really don't. I really don't get it. Used to play Scarfman on my Trash 80. Yeah. IBM punch cards. Yeah. When I was in elementary school, for some reason, I don't know, somehow we won some kind of thing, and where we went to the Museum of Science and Industry, like I think either once a week or twice a week. I can't remember. I think maybe it was twice a week on buses, and we got to use computers at the Museum of Science and Industry. Trash 80s, basically. The whole class went. It was very interesting, you know. Kind of a giant way. I mean, just basically to expose us to computers and got to play with them and got to make things appear on the screen and like little programs and stuff. And it was, I don't know, but it was fun because we got to go to Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago and got to go on like the coal mine ride and stuff like that all the time and see the U-505 or whatever it was, the submarine that got captured that was they had there in the museum. Yeah, it was great. Both parties look like they're stalling. Anyone?
This is the highest number of strikes that we've seen over these days of airstrikes.
Yeah, these airstrikes are just keep going, man, and it's a lot of stuff. So, and Centcom says that the strait remains open. No, Roselle says good night. Iroll says I'm getting tired. I got to go to sleep. Night, peeps. All right. Well, thank you for being here. That sub is amazing. To think 40 guys would be crammed in that thing for months at a time. Yeah, it's tiny. And as a little kid, even it was small. As a kid, in like, 5th grade, 6th grade, the thing was tiny. I ate 2 microdots at a field trip at the Museum of Science and Industry in high school. Wow. That sounds like fun. Did you go on the coal mine ride where you took the thing down through the coal mine? Towards the goal, yes. OMSI in Oregon, and we made the talking computer swear. Thank you for the 5. Great guy. Sadly, he was taken out. Master debater. Wow. Oh, yeah, Charlie Kirk. Yeah. Thank you so much for the 5. That means we're 54 away. 54 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. IMAX was incredible on LSD. Oh, yeah, definitely. Little Ricky has rickets. Yes, little Ricky Ricketts, as he does. Mark's very funny. Thank you for supporting the show. It's a really, really big show. It's a really, really big show. Jesus. Centcom said commercial traffic continues through the Strait, despite Iran's declaration that they closed it. President Trump said American forces launched another major round of strikes. Not minor rounds, major rounds of strikes. Centcom said Sunday the vessels are continuing to move through the Strait despite Iranian claims that the waterway was closed. Centcom rejected assertions that the IRGC and newly created Maritime Authority that ships could no longer pass. Iran tried to pull the old Gandalf and said, "You shall not pass." And we just laughed at him like the Balrog and just smoked him out of the way. Planetarium in Oregon had laser shows. Quite the projector for IMAX. Yes, it's great. Vacuums in the films to the lens. Vacuums the film to the lens. Yes, it's crazy. I beat someone to making clone of Mitch McConnell. All right, cool. The Strait is open to all vessels seeking to lawfully transit the international waterway. This U.S. forces are positioned and prepared to ensure that freedom of navigation remains available despite the unwarranted Iranian aggression, harassment, threats, and arbitrary declarations. Iran does not control the Strait. Traffic is flowing. Moises was a big boards outside back then. Hey, look at this. Just me became a YouTube member. Thank you. Let's see what kind of member he became. Welcome to Casual Listener. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, folks. That means we are now just $50 away, folks. Just 50 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you all so much. Did the planetarium have sharks as well? No, that was in Chicago was the Adler Planetarium, and then they had the Shed Aquarium. Movies was on billboards outside. Remember this, Jim? Well, I remember driving theaters. I remember driving movie theaters, which is like a billboard, yes. So Iran does not control the Strait. It remains an international waterway. U.S. forces are going to keep it that way. U.S. forces are going to keep it that way. They're going to keep it that way. They're going to prevent them. So the Strait of Hormuz connects the Persian Gulf with the Gulf of Oman and the wider ocean. Under normal conditions, roughly 1/5 of the world's traded oil supply passes through the narrow maritime corridor, making any disruption a significant concern for international energy markets and commercial shifting. Oh, wow. Look at this. Garawan. How you doing, Garawan? Gifted 10 Jim Tells You memberships. Wow. That's insane. That's a lot of money. It says, Eclectic Deb received a gifted membership. Disaster Peace Theater received a gifted membership. Rock and Roth received a gifted membership. Goofy for Jesus, Justin Horton, MJ Vids, Headless Bourgeois, Ease, Raven Creek, Faith, QP, 8 Us, and Spuds didn't, and Nicole all received gifted memberships from Garawan. Thank you, Garawan. And with that, folks.
Tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
Wow. Thank you so much. With that, folks, that means we are now just $90 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you so much, Gerwan. Garrett, is it Gerawan or Garawan? Just tell me how to pronounce it once and I will never forget it. Thank you so much. Well, there you go. There you go. Yeah, late to the game. Salty, what's up? New York City homeless encampments. Yes. Damn right. America will never fall to communism. That's right. I thought that red of the Republicans Party here is of the Republicans Party here. I don't know what you mean by that. Confused. Still gray. Congratulations to all the gift recipients. Yes, got to keep the red Chinese out. Yeah. Unfortunately, they're infiltrating us. Yes, Gerwan, great job. Thank you from all of us for the hour. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Iran's so-called Persian Gulf Strait Authority, an organization established during the U.S.-Iran conflict earlier this year, said passage was not currently possible because of U.S. military movements in the region. Well, sure seemed like they're, I mean, let's see. Well, oil prices did go up a little bit today. They are up a little. They're at 74.27. They're up almost $2.87 right now. And this is what's known as after hours trading. It's opened on the international market. So, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. We'll see where they settle out at. So we'll see where they settle out at today. So it's up about $2, which this has got to be just people panicking. It's got to be like panicaners. Whoa, look at this. Now he comes back again. Gerwan comes with another 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Let's see who got those. Salty C received a gifted membership. Kansas Meemaw, Hollis MJ, Noxie, a 1085, and Linden Lady, all received gifted memberships from Garawan. Thank you so much, Garawan. Thank you. Well, with that, folks, that means we are now just 60 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you so much, Garawan. Red used to be the Dem color in the 80s, used by the news. Yes, they changed it. They just flipped it for some reason. Because, our blue and red colors have the opposite meaning from Canada. Yeah. Asses and elephants. Yes, definitely. My friends paid to shop us from Canada. I'm a part of it here in the USA when it launches in Canada. Oh, cool. Thank you. Let us know. What do you mean? Yeah, Becky. It's a new payment platform that gives cash back in real time. Thank you again, Garawan. Yes. Shipping tracker shows ships in the straits moving. And that's what that shows. Congratulations to all the gift recipients. Yes, thank you so much. As soon as stability and calm are restored, all requests will be reviewed according to scheduling. Centcom's declaration that traffic continued came after American forces carried out another wave of strikes, targeting 140 military targets inside Iran. So Trump said July 10th that a temporary ceasefire between the United States and Iran was over. Trump described the scale of American response as we bombed the hell out of them. They're very sick, very evil people, Trump said. Yeah, they're crazy. They're evil. They're sick. They're scumbags. They're psychos. They're degenerates. That's what Trump said, not me. That's what Trump said. So Mohammed Baghdad Gal Queef Beth, Speaker of the Iranian's parliament, said that Iran would no longer accept what is described as unequal agreements. Well, we're going to equalize it with the equalizer. Capitalism, specifically all the stuff libertarianism have usual problems like becoming big corpo and not controlling monopolies. And no, this doesn't mean I would become a socialist. We need to get rid of all Is that allsides.com, the news feed on your screen? No, I don't think so. That's your news. Oh, on top, that's grounded news. Centcom said vessels continued. Yes. Strait of Hormuz is open to all ships, says the U.S. Iran does not control it. Traffic is flowing. U.S. insists Strait of Hormuz is open to all Iran after Iran claimed it closed it. And then ABC News, Iran updates. U.S. conducts new strikes.
Now, here's something you didn't realize until just now. You're probably overpaying.
Trump announced major combat operations. Delegations from the U.S. and Iran entered negotiations. U.S. and Iran have nonetheless continued to exchange repeated strikes. Iranian media reports 1 dead and 2 injured in attacks on southern Iran. That looks like that looks like apartment buildings or something. Well, it looks like to me like apartment buildings or something. Takes everything we are doing and claims to be doing it. Yeah, well, Iran spokesman is like a projector. Yeah, Trump isn't fooling around with Iran anymore. I'm glad. I'm glad he's not. I don't want him to. So 1 worker was killed and 2 others were injured in the latest waves of attacks, the state-run media news agency said. The information comes shortly after reports of explosions in the port of Bandar Abbas in the sea area of Keshem Island. Keshem, if you got them, I guess I should say. Let me do something real quick here, too. Let me look and see. And then here's from Centcom 26 minutes ago. Centcom completes another wave of strikes. U.S. Central Command completed a new wave of offensive strikes against Iran, July 12th, hitting dozens of targets at multiple locations. Centcom forces struck Iranian military air defense systems, coastal radar sites, missile and drone capabilities, and small boats. Is this? I think we saw this all yesterday. So they're going to play the same video again? What are they doing? This is the same video they used yesterday. Please explain how this will reopen the Strait of Hormuz to February 28th levels. Yeah. When you have to pretend that the high gas prices, war with Iran, and protecting. Yeah, okay, whatever. Dorks. Dorks. Look at today's DSA event. They tried to delete this. Too late. Wow, look at them. Masks on. I mean, these people are wackos. Look at them. These are people that say, oh, yeah, we need to take control. Oh. Wow, look at this thing. This is crazy. Look at this plasma ball. You see this? What the hell? Is this real? That is insane. What the hell is that? Is that real? Is that real? The U.S. has now destroyed Iran's military bases. At least 500 missiles have been locked and loaded. Wow. Wow. Guided plasma ball? That's some weird shit. No burn on lawn? Wow. Can't trust any videos these days with the AI. I know. I thought you were an electrician. I am, but I never seen a ball like that. It's like a plasma ball lightning. I don't know. I've heard of ball lightning, but never seen it. We don't need socialism and communism. No, we don't. Evil coming to surface. God said bye-bye. It's too close to the ground. Yeah, it was weird the way it was floating off the ground like that with the stuff. It's like crazy, insane, insane in the membrane, insane in the brain. Insane in the membrane. Got so sane in the brain. Wow. It's crazy. Iran says the enemy launches missiles toward Keshem Island. That's what they say. Uh-huh. And then Iran says the U.S. is paying the price for not keeping its word. Oh, okay. Sounds like you're paying the price. And then they say peace talks unravel after multiple attacks.
As the president says, why don't we have one?
I think it's very hard for the Iranian regime to ever come to grips with what they're dealing with. They're dealing with a superpower. President Trump is a person who would love to see peace. He's given them more opportunities than most anybody would ever given them. But the fact is, he has limits. He has a certain level of patience, and then it runs out. I think the president is trying his very best to resolve this with a peaceful conclusion that does not involve kinetic action. But if they refuse, then I think he's also demonstrated that he will do whatever it takes to make sure that his promise is fulfilled. They're never going to have a nuclear weapon. They're not going to have enriched uranium. The president's trying to give them one more chance, one more warning, one more understanding. They need to deal with the fact that they're confronting the most powerful military in the history of the world. Do they really want to test its limits? Let's hope they don't.
Is there any daylight between President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu right now?
No, you know, I hear this all the time. You hear it in Israel, you hear it in the United States. They have an extraordinarily good relationship. It's a long-standing relationship. There's no leader in the world that's been to see the president at the White House more than Prime Minister Netanyahu. Do they always agree on everything? No. But Anna, my wife and I have been married 52 years. We don't agree on everything either, but we remain hitched. I would say this, that this idea that somehow that this big gap between Israel and the United States and between the president and the prime minister, it's maybe the pipe dream of people who don't like either one of them, but it is not the reality that I'm sitting in a front row seat to observe.
Awesome to know. Awesome to know. Awesome to know. And Kuwaiti air defense intercepts hostile aerial objects after airspace intrusions. Yes, we're playing right into China's 100-year plan. 2 foreign wars, 1 internal war. Now China's CCP is demonstrating they can reach us. I don't know. That's some weird shit, man. Excellent AI effect. I think so. I think so. What's this? Ank. What's that from Ank? What is that from Ank? Something coming from Ank? Oh, nothing. So if China, so did the Russians and China leaders are with Trump doing this to stop weapons build, but China leaders keep saying don't stand in the way with war. Same with Putin. I don't know. Something's going on. If you were China, you would know if you infiltrated U.S., you would have to do it with chaos and deception through our leaders, never really settling anything or convicting anyone being used. Yes, it's crazy. I just renewed my membership. Oh, okay. Well, it came up as a new member, so. I'm glad this ambassador reacted sensibly, unlike some Jews when Trump said ceasefire negotiations. Oh, the power of God, Jim. Of God, yeah, yes. The power of Christ compels you. I would rather be hitched to Israel over the Ukraine, divorce overdue with the Ukraine. Yes. No man knows the power of God. Iran negotiated with Oman, then turned around and hit them. It's crazy. Military says explosions were heard in parts of the country that caused mid-air interceptions. Also would have to let oaths be broken. Yes. General HQ. Kuwaiti. General Staff, the Kuwaiti Army said air defense systems engaged hostile aerial objects after they entered the country's airspace on Sunday morning. Sunday morning! In a statement, General Staff said the explosions heard in some parts of the country resulted from mid-air interceptions. General Staff urged the public to adhere to safety instructions. Christian distributism is key. Okay. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You better let him out. He's going to suffocate. Hey, Jim, hope you had a great weekend. You too, Jason. Hope you had a great time. We got this story. U.S. and Philippines lead 10-nation coalition protecting the South China Sea. Yes, they're saying, China, you don't control it. Breaking, Lindsey Graham was mid-coitus baris with Ukrainian spy Bruno Gebhard, a flamboyant Austrian fashion journalist. Really? Wow. When he had the heart attack? Wow. That's crazy. Thanks for letting us know, PD. The only way to stop extremism is to eliminate them. They will never make a deal that involves compromise. Unfortunately, they are willing to take everyone with them. It's the truth. When he had the heart attack. Okay. Is your refrigerator running? Yes. You better catch it. It's going to get away. Weird sex, that coitus. Yes, it is. It's the CCP fear tactics. Yes, I agree. Totally. A coalition led by the United States and the Philippines has renewed its commitment to defending international law in the South China Sea, issuing a joint declaration marking the 10th anniversary of the landmark 2016 Hague arbitral ruling that rejected China's sweeping maritime claims. The statement released Saturday, July 11th, was endorsed by the United States, the Philippines, Australia, Canada, Estonia, Germany, Italy, Japan, Latvia, Lithuania, New Zealand, Romania, Slovenia, and the United Kingdom, which United Kingdom nobody really gives a shit about. They don't even have a fucking navy anymore. They can't do shit. Together, the governments reaffirmed their support for a free and open Indo-Pacific governed by international law and called on Beijing to comply with the legally binding arbitration decision. The declaration commemorates the July 12, 2016 ruling issued under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, in which the International Arbitral Tribunal unanimously concluded that there was no legal basis for China's expansive claims based on so-called historic rights within the South China Sea. China rejected the ruling when it was issued and has continued to maintain its claims despite the tribunal's decision. So China is just doing what's called trying to conquer lands and claim lands. How do you tell if there's an elephant on your back in a windstorm? I don't know. You can hear its ears flapping. You better go catch it. Yes, better go catch it. Is Centcom hitting Iran? I think they just stopped. They were. They said that, like I saw, Centcom said 26 minutes ago that they had just stopped strikes for the evening. Because right now it's becoming daylight in Iran. So they hit them at night. They mostly come out at night. Mostly. The coalition emphasized the award remains final, legally binding and definitive between China and the Philippines regarding the maritime claims addressed by the tribunal. It also reaffirmed that disputes must be resolved peacefully under international law rather than through coercion or force. Yeah, I'm sure China really loves that. Like they're going to listen. Like they're going to listen. Like they're going to listen. EU, US, and others reaffirm support for South China Sea arbitration ruling on 10th anniversary. Yes, on the 10th anniversary of China ignoring it. It's crazy, right? They're floating buoys. They're trying to put like stuff and build like fake islands and stuff. Floating structure inside the BDM. The Philippine Coast Guard spokesman installed structures at the Biomasonic Scarborough Shoals, including a movable floating platform, 3 new buoys, and an unidentified spherical object, and 2 antennae. European Union and the United States, 13 other countries, marked the 10th anniversary by saying, hey, China, we won't fuck around here no more. The EU called on the parties to respect and fully implement the ruling, emphasizing the importance of freedom of navigation. Hank says, well, ladies and germs, I'm out of here. Got to get to bed. Got to be at the optometrist at 7:30 in the AM. Good night, good people. So thank you for being here, Hank. It's always great. It's always a great evening when Hank is around. Why is the Democrats hiding Mitch McConnell's health there for? I don't know. I don't know why they're doing that. Makes no sense to me. Makes zero sense to me. The EU statement also expressed support for the ongoing negotiations between the Why would they wait if they're? Why is there negotiations if they were already told that they're in the wrong and they need to get out? What are you negotiating about? What are you negotiating about? I don't know if you guys heard this. All right. That the Seattle Seahawks sold to 49ers minority owner for a record 9.6 billions. 9.6 billions. I just had to grok AI did this style, promote Trump deals, Cobra Kai way. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Cool. The MIU is still in effect and there's still negotiations. The ceasefire is over. Trump said they'll still talk if they want, but the ceasefire is over. That if you screw around, we're going to whack you. If I didn't hear it on Jim Tells You, I didn't hear it. Well, thank you, KPT. Thank you so much. USA can't deals talks with nut jobs in Iran there. Great Eagle. Is English your first language? I have to ask that again. It doesn't seem like may to be is. The Seattle Seahawks are being sold to the Koslaw family, including Vinod Koslaw, in accordance with the wishes of the late team owner Paul Allen. The team announced on Saturday. Have you ever smelled mothballs? How did you hold them? By the wings. That was a joke. The Koslaw family entered into a formal agreement to purchase the defending Super Bowl champions for $9.612 billion, according to a person familiar with the deal. The person spoke to the Associated Press on a condition of anonymity because the deal is subject to still be NFL approved. CPC making robots used for in war, but which Jim? By now, I hope people can understand that when Trump negotiates with Iran, it doesn't mean he's backing off or surrendering. Lol. Yes. Regine gets it. We are honored to be entrusted as the next stewards of the Seattle Seahawks, said Vinod Koslaw in a statement. We look forward to building on the weaning legacy of Paul Allen, created and to earning the trust of Seattle Seahawks organization and fans everywhere. Yes, it's World War XI. In follow-up post on X, Vinod Koslaw, excited to be part of this great franchise. Also excited to see all the money I will make on you rube white people. Can't believe they wrote that. No other comments till sale is final. Allen's estate announced on February 18th had begun the process of selling the team, which is coming off its second Super Bowl victory in franchise history. Investment bank Allen and Company, LLC, and law firm Latham Watkins led the sales process, which was estimated in February to continue through the off season. The Koslaw family will be required to relinquish its ownership stake in the San Francisco 49ers as part of the deal. NFL owners still have to ratify a final purchase agreement, and they are expected to meet in August to approve the deal. Does the Seattle payroll tax affect the Seahawks? I don't know. Maybe. That'd be funny if they did. Every English teacher I ever asked, are you sure English is your native language? I get the same question for most everyone's in chat too. I know. Isn't it crazy? Just me? It's nuts. NFL, the Seahawks have been in the Allen family since 1997 when Paul Allen bought the team for $194 million from then owner Ken Behring Allen was critical in keeping the Seahawks in Seattle, which is where the team is expected to remain after the sale is finalized. So this was a great investment. Bought it for $194 million, sold it for $9 billion, right? $9.612 billion. Wow. That is a humongous return. I mean, think about it. That's like what? Let's see. Let's just round it to 200 million. So every billion would be a 5x return. So that's a 45x return. 45x return. Wow. We don't speak the King's English. We speak American. Sorry, my English not that good here. I got A in math, not English. Mine is not good either. Do not worry. Ball lightning is a separate, rarer puzzle, a self-contained, longer-lasting, plasma-like ball that can move independently, even against the wind, pass through walls and windows. I heard a song about from the windows to the walls to the lightning drops your balls. Geek, 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 geek. Did they build a new stadium after the purchase and before this sale? I don't know. It's hard to type on iPhone without depth perception. Well, that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. There you go. Theories include ionized air, silicon vapor from soil strikes, or electromagnetic knots. It's not how normal lightning works, but it often appears right after a regular strike, according to National Geographic. Hi, everyone. Is Graham still dead? Yeah, they haven't brought him back yet. They have not revived him. Dan says, I'll just keep my Packer stock. There you go. The Seahawks have a lease at Lumen Field that runs through 2032 with 3 10-year options. Since Allen, co-founder of Microsoft, died in 2018 from complications from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma at 65, the Seahawks and the NBA's Portland Trail Blazers have been owned by his sister, Jody. I saw a ball of lightning hit my neighbor's front yard. It was blue, not white. I got A's in tech math and liberal arts math in college here. I don't know what neither of those are. Math is math. What's liberal arts math? I don't understand. I sent a message to my husband with only 2 sentences this morning. He said he didn't read the second sentence and he was born and raised in America. Okay. Graham and Franco are still dead. Okay. The estate agreed in September to sell the Trailblazers to an investment group led by Carolina Hurricanes owner Tom Dundon. He done. The Trailblazers will remain in Portland as part of the deal, which is awaiting final approval from the NBA Board of Governors. The last NFL team to be sold was the Washington Commanders in 2023. A group led by Josh Harris that includes Magic Johnson bought the team from longtime owner Dan Snyder and his family for a record $6.05 billion. Liberal arts maths. How many weeds do I have to pull to weave a basket? Yeah, maybe. Now Graham will vote Democrat from now on. Yeah, it sounds like DEI math to me. Yeah, it sounds crazy. Sure does. The Seahawks beat the New England Patriots 29-13 in the Super Bowl in February. Then this says that witnesses dispute ICE's account of the deadly shooting of the Mexican man. Mexican man, what are you doing with that gun in your hand? Going down and shoot my old lady.
Are disputing the account of federal officials in the fatal shooting of a Mexican migrant this week by an ICE agent. Officials now admit the man killed was not the person they were targeting in an immigration operation. More now from our Jason Allen in Texas.
New surveillance video obtained by El Grito Media shows an unmarked black SUV following a white work van Tuesday morning in Houston. Another camera caught a different black SUV cutting through a parking lot. Moments later, 52-year-old Lorenzo Salgado Araujo was seen on the ground, shot in the torso, with ICE officers standing over him. Videos of the pursuit are emerging as two of the men in the van gave their attorney a new account of the shooting that happened when the van stopped.
They confirmed that at no point was there ever an ICE agent directly in front of the vehicle. They also confirmed that the shots came from the sides, not from the front.
Homeland Security said Salgado Araujo tried to weaponize his van and run over an officer who shot in self-defense. There is no video so far that shows that moment.
None of the ICE agents were wearing body cameras.
Oh, well.
And none of the vehicles had dashboard cameras.
Well, here's the problem, you stupid idiot. You guys wouldn't give them any money. You remember you shut down the government and ICE. You didn't pay them for like over 100 days. How were they going to buy the body cameras with their with the money that they didn't have because they weren't getting paid and they didn't have any money? Remember? You know, this is actually very despicable that this attorney for these guys is with these demon rats.
That captured the shooting.
Representative Sylvia Garcia said there appears to be no damage at all to the van Salgado Araujo was driving.
I'm not prepared to say today that it's all lies, but it sure is looking that way.
The Harris County District Attorney's Office is now doing its own investigation, pleading for new videos or eyewitness accounts. The attorney for the workers who were in the van and now detained said he's concerned his clients will be pressured into signing documents that will have them deported.
Yeah, deport them.
Homeland Security pointed to the two government shutdowns earlier this year, blaming them for delaying the distribution of cameras out into the field.
Oh, wow. You don't say. The Democrats shut down the money so they couldn't get the cameras. Wow. How many illegals were in the van? Sounds like at least 3. I can't wait for Houston to be taken back from the communists. Yeah. Maybe the governor of Houston, the governor of Texas needs to step in and stop these idiots from what they're doing. Yeah. These Democrats wrecked the country, and now it's ICE's fault. Yeah. That's your congressman? Ain't I lucky? Yeah, crazy. Thor powers can do something if video is real. Also a sign like that show a god is real. Yeah, cool. He's working on it. El Grito Media. Oh, no. Yeah, right? El Grito Media.
There is a vigil that's planned for tomorrow morning in Houston, and there are meetings with organizers and activists that are starting to come together for tomorrow in the wake of this shooting. Major?
Understandable indeed. Jason Allen.
Oh, yeah, that's what they're hoping for. That's what they're hoping for. They're hoping for, Jesus Floyd situation. W. Doggo. Hey, what's up? In Personona is cool. Now he's a Mexican migrant. It's an illegal alien. If you notice, Houstonians don't give a big deal about it. It happens every day. Yeah. Our county judge caught mono too. Well, good for them. Hey, that's right. They want Lorenzo Floyd. At no point was an ICE agent directly in front of the vehicle. Was he turning to the side and hit him? He also confirmed the shots came from the side, not from the front. Okay. He ignored the commands and rammed the ICE vehicle with his white van. Officer filed in self-defense. Sylvia Garcia, whose district includes Houston, said that she's not going to say they're lying, but, she thinks they are. Henry McMaster will appoint an interim replacement to serve the remainder of Graham's term. This keeps the Senate seat filled in the short term. McMaster could potentially appoint himself, though other names like Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett have been discussed. Alan Sparks says, well, I'm a bit late. I'll rewind afterwards. All right, no worries, man. I can type 50 worms per minute, but forget to put words in sentences. Yes, that'll happen. Caretaker option. Yes. Glad you're here, Alan Sparks. Assault with a deadly weapon. Yeah, caretaker option. Yes. So, yeah, so they're trying to get their, they're trying to get, they're just trying to do anything, It says he's a 52-year-old home builder who was shot and killed while driving his crew to a construction site. How does an illegal alien have a crew in a business? Huh. He's lived in the country for more than 35 years with no criminal record, was close to finishing the long process of attaining legal status. So he's been here illegally, working, stealing. He's been fucking stealing for 35 years, working with stolen documents, not paying taxes, fucking around. No. After speaking, I have no doubt what they're saying is the truth. I know these agents is going to try to cover it up. The guy says, oh, okay. Uh-huh. Garcia said that it's not surprised that they drove off when ICE tried to stop the vehicle, given that their vehicles are unmarked and had no lights. Are these people retarded? Don't they know that that's the type of vehicles they? What do they think if they had they want them to have vehicles that say ICE on them so that people can run away when they come? What would you do if you're being followed by someone when cars are unmarked? Oh, okay. So it's whatever. Odds that his crews are illegal too. Yeah, they're all illegals. The detained men claim ICE is pressuring them to self-deport. Yeah, ICE is pressuring the men to self-deport, which would make it harder for them to share their version of events. It's extremely important that we preserve the integrity of this investigation. Oh, yeah, they'll be out the window if they are deported. The Mexican president considers him a citizen of her country. Yes, she does. It's crazy, isn't it? She's talking about suing. His anchor baby kids were born on the taxpayer dime, and I'll bet he isn't paying payroll taxes. No, or workers' comp or nothing. You do realize the cartels are trained by both CAG, aka Delta Force, and the 7th. Yeah, well, they were. That was years ago. That was the DFS was what they were called. In Mexico, were trained by all those groups in the School of the Americas. But yeah. Whatever happened with Mitch, supposedly he's fine. He's fine. He's going to be great. That's what they claim. Oh, so the main goal is to secure the men's release. He's concerned the men will be pressured into signing documents to have them deported. They're not going to be released. They're going to be fucking deported. No one in the van had warrants or any legal problems. They were all in the country illegally. While heading to the address, officers saw the white van and someone inside it resembled the person they were looking for. No one in the van had warrants or any legal problem. They were here illegally. They're all illegal aliens. Who cares about their side of the story? It's past time to get the fuck out. If you think illegals in Texas don't know how to spot ICE agents, you're not from Texas. Yeah. The fact that Mitch is fine now and his wife is back from China and was securing an organ for a transplant, very telling. Probably, oh shit, I didn't even think about that. Working illegally as well. Yeah, that's what they were doing. DHS has not responded to requests for comments. Unlike some of the previous deaths, a few photos or videos have emerged. The League of United Latin American Citizens offers a $5,000 reward for video or other evidence, but positions of the vehicles mean surveillance cameras were blocked from recording. Oh, no. Local prosecutors are talking to witnesses. The agents were acting in their official capacity as federal agents. Local prosecutors have no jurisdiction to do anything. Yeah, look up the punishments in other countries for being in the country uninvited. Harris County District Attorney said they're looking for surveillance footage. Anyone who has video information should share it with his office. We will go to the ends of the earth to collect the evidence so that we can eventually let the public know what happened. The FBI is tightly controlling evidence, but Houston mayor says he wants local independent investigations, and the police chief will meet with federal investigators next week to see what can be done. We recognize this is a federal police agency that was out of control Tuesday morning. What? Oh, that's what the mayor said? Houston police do not work with ICE, and the mayor said he found out about the shooting for the media. They're out of control. Oh, okay. We have to do something about these mayors and other people who think they are like sovereigns. They're like fucking sovereign, some kind of sovereign, citizens where they don't have any, basically they think they're above the law, and that they can do whatever they want. And this has to stop. It has to stop like yesterday. This cannot continue. We cannot live like this, where we have, cities and states and municipalities that think that they are above the federal government. That's not how it works. That's not the way it works in the United States of America. It has to stop. It has to stop. The only way it's going to stop is if somebody starts arresting people. Start small. Arrest the mayor of Baltimore or Boston or D.C. Just any of them. Just one. Just arrest anyone. Anyone. Arrest anyone. Wow. We got this story. Look at this. United States, Japan, and South Korea just signed a new pact around working together to accelerate small modular nuclear reactors. Didn't the Mexican national ram the ICE vehicle? That's what they said. That's what they said. Houston and Harris County is 100% demon rats. Yeah. I'll say it again. Houston is a sanctuary city. Scott Jennings said he talked to Mitch. Why would he make this lie? Now he's lost all his credibility. It's not a lie. Supposedly Mitch McConnell's okay. What part of illegal aliens don't these airheads understand? They're criminal sympathizers. Yes, they are, Salty Sea. Yeah, Dearborn, Michigan. Get them all. Canada's just a punchline now. It is just a punch line now. Small modular reactor development. Yeah. So today on the margins of NATO summit in Ankara, Turkey, the United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Japan, they outlined how they're going to work together to build a small modular nuclear reactor in a safe standard and security, and a non-proliferation of new reactor technology increases come online. Yes. They're committing over $10 million in new funding for the State Department's foundational infrastructure response. That's great. That's great. That's what we need. We need small modular nuclear reactors. What do you mean he didn't lie? I don't think Scott Jennings lied. Supposedly Mitch McConnell's been talking to people. Supposedly he's all right. I don't know. That's what they're claiming. Nothing is going to fix this until somebody goes absolutely upside their head. That's what I'm saying. Arrest the governor running Michigan. Yes. Government running Dearborn, Michigan. Is Mitch's wife by his side now? Supposedly, there's a picture. They put out a picture. That's what they claim. They claim that. That's what they're saying. That's their story. That's what they said. Supposedly. Trump DOJ launches a grand jury investigation into the UAW president Sean Fain allegedly pressured officials to secure benefits for fiance and sister. Uh-oh. You don't say. You don't say. A Democrat? The Trump Justice Department has launched a federal grand jury investigation into the United Auto Workers president Sean Fain over serious allegations of abuse of power and self-dealing. I really doubt McConnell's still alive. If he is, why doesn't he speak to Trump? Him and Trump don't get along. He doesn't like Trump. Trump doesn't like him. Keeps voting against him. The grand jury subpoenaed the court-appointed monitor as part of the probe into claims that Fain pressured a high-ranking union official to secure benefits for his fiancée and her sister. The investigation follows a series of damning reports from a federal monitor documenting retaliation against top UAW leaders who pushed back on questionable spending decisions. Yes. A union leader corrupt? Never. Well, it sure seems like it's happening. Sure seems like it's happening. He can't speak. Supposedly he can speak. Mayors are equal to dictators, but on smaller cities. Yes. Maybe Mitch went to China for a free organ transplant. Maybe. I don't know. Stranger things have happened. So the culture of corruption has long plagued the UAW. Multiple UAW presidents and top officials were convicted and sent to prison in one of the largest labor racketeering scandals in modern history, using members' dues for luxury cars, golf trips, bribes, and personal enrichment. You don't say. You don't say. Huh. UAW was placed under a federal consent decree after a previous wave of corruption convictions. The monitor was supposed to clean house. Sean Fain ran for president as a so-called reformer, but the more things change, the more they stay the same. The court-appointed monitor, Neil Baflowski, who repeatedly was the star of South Park, accused Fain of abusing his authority. You will respect my authority. Previous monitors reported detailed how Fain retaliated against the Secretary-Treasurer Margaret Mock and Vice President Rich Boyer after they resisted questionable expenditures. One report highlighted Fain's push for bonuses at a Stellantis training center that would have directly benefited his fiancée. Fain has angrily denied the findings, calling the Monitor's report politically charged and false, and accused Broflovsky of playing political games and abusing power. Games people play. It's a great song by the Alan Parsons Project. Fain said in a statement that Broflovsky's reports were politically motivated, that the union's executive board calls for a ceasefire in Gaza. Oh, so it's about Gaza. Who says the photo of Mitch was actually shot in the U.S.? We have no idea that Lindsey went to Ukraine. Yeah, well, I mean, there was video of Lindsey in Ukraine shaking hands with Zelensky. A spokesperson for Jenner Block, the law firm that employs Broflovsky, said he has acted with the highest levels of professionalism, integrity, and respect in his roles as a public service, private practice, and as a DOJ-appointed monitor. Art Wheaton, a labor studies professor at Cornell, said that although the federal watchdog can take severe disciplinary action, some of which could affect Fain's ability to run for office, the potential for drastic or criminal punishment in the case does not appear likely to reach that level. Well, unless he broke the law. Well, if they think they're going to start another summer of love in Texas, it's not going to go the way the looters think it will. We have very racially diverse rooftop Koreans just waiting. Maybe Mitch is actually in China. It's possible. Could be. Possible. This is the same Fain who, during his speech at the opening night of the 2024 Demon Rat Convention, blasted Trump and unfurled a red T-shirt emblazoned with the word that Trump is a scab. They showed pictures of Graham at the drone factory in Kiev. Yes, and that drone factory got blown up Saturday or Friday or Saturday. Like right after he was there, it got blown up, and then they said he was dead. So who knows? Some people are saying things. I like rooftop Koreans. Yes, me too. I like them. Army Blackhawks heroically airlift over 200 stranded campers to safety during Missouri flooding. Well, that's great news. Wow. The Army National Guard Black Hawk helicopters carried out a dramatic rescue operation in Missouri on, now do you guys pronounce it Missouri or Misery? On Friday, airlifting more than 200 young campers and counselors to safety after severe flooding stranded them at Camp Tom Sock in Reynolds County. Tom Sucks. That camp sounds like Camp Tom Sucks in Reynolds County. Nick Shirley's latest is a Korean senior care in Flushing, New York City. New York City? The historic co-ed camp located in Leicester to Molesterville along the Black River in Missouri, Ozarks, saw floodwater rise rapidly. Missouri, after a powerful storm system dumped between 6 to 12 inches of rain. Campers ranging in age from 8 to 16 and their counselors were trapped as the waters surged, prompting an urgent call for military assistance. And Army National Guard Black Hawk helicopters flew into the flooded area, successfully evacuated 202 campers and staff members. Video from the Missouri State Highway Patrol showed some of the children arriving at safety. It's Missouri. Okay. That's a party looking helicopter. Wow. Crazy. Once aboard, they were flown to St. Louis, where they were safely reunited with their families. Camp Tom Sucks officials expressed deep gratitude for their swift response, posting on Instagram that they were beyond thankful for keeping our camp community safe. The officials specifically thanked the National Guard, Reynolds County 911 emergency responders, and the local Arcadia community for their efforts during the crisis. The dramatic airlift was part of a large coordinated emergency response across Missouri, following an executive order by Governor Mike Kehoe declaring a state of emergency. Local first responders carried out at least 351 swift water rescues along the affected regions, according to a report by Fox News. That ain't paste Picante soft. That stuff's made in New York City. New York City, Harlan, get a rope. If it was Mexican, they would have gotten all 200 in one chapa. I hope Nick Shirley has numerous and sophisticated security team. He's going to need it. Yes, he will. Definitely. If you've ever driven through Missouri, you would call it misery. One death has been reported in connection with the flooding. The National Weather Service has warned that saturated soils could lead to additional floodings, with forecasters calling for another 2 to 4 inches of rainfall throughout the weekend. State officials are urging residents in affected areas to remain vigilant and to follow evacuation orders if necessary. I loved how they told Nick if his grandmother didn't speak Korean, she wasn't welcome. Oh, that's racist. That sounds very racist to me. Look at this. New York City homeless encampment with drug trafficking, prostitution reaches 12 blocks. Wow, that's a big-ass homeless encampment. That ain't salsa. Yeah. That is a great ending, and reserves deserve high praise. Yes, they do. Missouri is beautiful, just has no money. In Missouri, in the southern part of the state, Missouri is the eastern part of the state. Which part was the outlaw Josie Wales from? A homeless encampment on Manhattan's west side has grown to span 12 city blocks, prompting complaints from residents, workers, and tourist officials over crime, including drug activity and prostitution. According to a report from the New York Post, dozens of tents and makeshift shelters now stretch from 34th Street to 46th Street along 111th or 11th Avenue. The site has caused issues for local workers and residents, as well as tourists visiting the Intrepid Museum. Belated thanks to our duck far for the monthly red rash. I fell asleep last night and caught it on replay. I think it's duck fat, not duck far. Wants health insurance for hookers in Buffalo and New York City. I hope I pronounced that correct. I'm always worried about pronouncing her name correct. We can't get rid of them. An unidentified city parks enforcement officer told the outlet, these ones are here and are stealing everything. They take what they can. They leave nothing behind. And then there are the escorts too, prostitutes. I see them. They're there. Definitely getting worse. People stopped parking here. People are scared to park here. Nearby workers have said that the open drug dealing and the tent is commonplace, with prostitution becoming more commonplace, and one tent serves as a gathering place for sex work, drug transactions, or both. This is crazy, said one supervisor, Jacob Javits, near the center. The cops and sanitation guys and outreach guys, they clean up one spot, and after that day, the next day, they're over here. Then they're over there. And then they're over here. And then they're over there. They just keep moving. They're spreading like a disease. They must bring in Judge Dredd, because crime is a disease, and he's the cure. The supervisor explained that the worst parts are on 36th and 37th, where it's filled with heroin addicts. Meanwhile, one vagrant there called Kami Mandami awesome for allowing the encampment to continue. She says, I can't follow when you mispronounce many of the words. I'm not purposely trying to mispronounce the words. New York City sounding more like the third world city. Yes, it is. Thank you, Duck Fat. Thanks. Yep. Meanwhile, yes. This comes as city records show that 311 calls complaining about the vagrants increased to 48 this year from 40 in 2025. Christine Nichols, chair of the New York State Tourism Advisory Council, appointed by Governor Kathy Hochul, said the encampment doesn't put New York tourism in a positive light either. The Intrepid Museum is one of New York's greatest tourist attractions, drawing millions of visitors each year. Tourists are forced to walk around squalor and stench. I hope the mayor focuses on this as he's promoted tourism during the World Cup. He understands tourism. Oh, thank you. I'm trying to be funny. See, here's a picture of Mitch McConnell. There he is right there. See? Here he is. He's happy. He's smiling. He's in a bed. Although this room doesn't look like I don't see any hospital things there. Here we go. This is Mitch McConnell. See, there he is. There's his wife, Elaine Chao. They're happy. They're in the hospital. I'm crocheting while listening. Well, thank you. There they are. Happy, healthy. He's like, looks like $5 million, $6 million. He's a $6 million man. They built him stronger, faster. He will be Uber Mitch. All right. Just trying to be funny. I'm trying to make people laugh. Sorry. Quebec gunman steals 30,000 in Pokemon cards, tells victims thank you before fleeing. Wow. Looks AI generated. Could be. I don't know. I can only report the news. I can't make it. If I could make the news, I would make it much better. Look at this guy robbing a Pokemon game. Give me your Pokemon cards. The Bionic Turtle. Jim, there is no dents, wrinkles in the pillow behind him. What? Yeah, there's wrinkles in the pillow. Look it. You can see the wrinkles in the pillow. Look at it. See it? See the wrinkles in the pillow? See the dents, wrinkles? Although it doesn't look like he's touching that pillow. How is it just floating there in the air? Hello, my name is Mitch McConnell, and I'm to tell you that I'm fine, and I'm sitting here and with my wife, and I feel great. See, he was just talking to us. He looks better than ever. Not where his shoulders are. Fresh pillows for Mitch hourly. Yes. This is a real statement. I live here. From a public health and urban planning perspective, the situation unfolding in Texas right now is completely unsustainable. Recent environmental shifts have triggered a massive migration of highly adaptive rodent populations into the metropolitan apartment complexes, particularly in the high-density areas like Houston. The baseline, low-cost chemical treatments currently being deployed are failed. They are completely ineffective against the scale of influx. This is an aggressive infrastructure infestation. At least he was polite. Yes. The Mitch mask looks awesome. Man, he looks ancient. A man accused of robbing a Quebec collectibles store at gunpoint made off with about $30,000 worth of Pokemon cards. Did he steal 30,000 Pokemon cards? Because that's the only reason I could think they'd be worth $30,000, like $1 a piece. Before calmly thanking those inside, according to the store owners. The robbery happened on June 18th in Missing No in St. Alexis, Quebec, around 60 kilometers northeast of Montreal. Security footage showed a man entering the store carrying what appeared to be a firearm, while customers, including a 10-year-old boy, were inside. He came inside, so I step up and I went to him, and then he showed me a gun, and he tells everyone to stand up. Rather than demanding cash, the suspect stuffed valuable trading cards into a hockey bag. As he walked out, still armed, he reportedly told those inside, "Thank you, have a good night." Store owners, Hetu and Charles Berlot-Passot, chased after the suspect with baseball bats, smashing the vehicle taillights and a passenger side window as it sped away. That's not very smart. To chase a man with a gun with baseball bats? I mean, last time I checked, when it comes to, you don't bring a baseball bat to a gunfight because you got to get like right up to him. A gun, like those bullets, they come out kind of fast. They can travel distances and hit people before you can get within bat range. That Quebec man won't go to prison. That's Canada now, just like New York City and California. Yes. California, crazy. We want the police to recognize the car. Oh, police arrested a Danny L. Iwar roughly 2 hours later. He was charged in connection with the robbery as well as several other robberies dating back to April. Despite the arrest, the stolen merchandise was not recovered. That sounds like a Canadian name, Danny L. Iwar. I thought Canada banned guns. I guess criminals didn't get the memo. Yeah, there was just a shooting in Canadistan at some Latin festival. That was like Friday or Saturday. A bunch of people were shot. I was just talking to Mitch McConnell. Of course, I'm not telling you he didn't talk back to me, but I spoke at him. Quebecois are the French socialists. Quebecois. He already had the time to take the hockey bag with all the stuff that he stole from us and give them to another person so we didn't get our stuff back. Maybe they were involved. Following the robbery, the store added tighter security, including a controlled entry with a buzzer, a remotely locked front door, and additional surveillance cameras. He, too, said he hopes other trading card retailers will take similar precautions. They keep trying to ban guns, but no one will go along. People were shot in Toronto. Yes. Nobody's low IQ. That's ridiculous. Definitely how he talks. We love him, though. Oh. I was being relaxed about issue, but watch all those horror movies on rats. And one thing to learn, they are smart on spreading and chasing out people. Yeah, you know, there's more rats in New York City than people. We're in 2026, so right now the game is like this. He said, you have to take responsibility. You have to protect your customers. If you were armed, you could protect them, but they won't let you be armed in Quebecois. This is Nightmare in the Netherlands. A 15-year-old girl who identified as trans boy, then as a dog, brutally murders her parents, sends gruesome, bloody photos to classmates. Wow. Wow. I wonder how such a thing could happen. Could it be that they pumped this person full of could they have pumped this person full of some kind of testosterone, other hormones, made them crazy? So wait, let me guess. That's the person that identified as the dog. Now they identify as a non-murderer. Yes. KPT says that Regine said it, not Jim. Yes, I never say anything bad to anybody. I'm just a talker. And she says, I know I was saying you don't. It's definitely Jim's talking. Yes, my talking is horrible. I don't know why anybody listens to me. It's terrible. With aircraft carriers moving in, we'll see moves on Carg Island. I hope so. I hope so. Freedom to do so with VPN AI. Okay. So this is which one is is this one at the hand here? Is this the trans? Is that the trans? Who's the trans? The one with the face covered? I can't tell. Can anyone tell who the trans is in this picture? Anyone? Left, right, center? I didn't say Jim's low IQ. I said whoever can't understand him. Oh, I thought it was my speaking that was low IQ. I don't know. Nobody's low IQ. I'm trying to be funny, and I'm purposely mispronouncing words, trying to be funny. They're all trans? You think so? All of them? Maybe. Well, Trump will keep Carg Island and make it great again. I can't wait for the hats. Yes, that'd be awesome. Think of the water park. We could build like a resort on Carg Island. Man, look at his hand on his hip. Yeah, see, I think they're all trannies. I mean, trans. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. I apologize. A 15-year-old Dutch girl. I wonder if the Dutch girl had her finger in the dike. Has been arrested on suspicion of fatally stabbing her parents to death inside their home during the early hours of June 18th and what authorities are investigating as a double murder. Wow. The suspect, who were reportedly first identified as a boy and then later as a dog, allegedly attacked her mother. I wonder, did she identify as some kind of dog, like a vicious dog with rabies? Used to bite him and bark? She reportedly stabbed the family's golden retriever during the rampage. Wow. In a sickening detail that horrified the community, the girl allegedly took photographs of her parents' blood-covered bodies and sent the images to classmates via WhatsApp shortly after the killing. Ugh. Dutch authorities have issued an urgent warning urging anyone in possession of such material not to share it and turn it over directly to investigators. Classmates have described the girl's increasingly bizarre behavior in the months and years leading up to the tragedy. One student told media outlets that she wore a tail, dog ears, and gloves, would crawl around on all fours and bark while running through the school corridors. I mean, I remember hearing stories, all right, about people identifying as cats and then putting litter boxes in classrooms, and I was like, this shit has to stop. So it was the kid in the middle that was trans? I don't know. I mean, the one on the left looked like it could be trans. Somebody probably called her a bitch, and she took it literally. Oh, so she thought she was a female. Well, did she? That's the question. Did she identify as a male dog or a female dog? These are questions that should be asked by the reporters. That's very well. She identified as Cujo. Neighbors reportedly seen her sprinting through the streets at night while acting like a dog, perching silently on garden fences and shed roofs and hiding in bushes. Behavior, they said, had been worsening. The left and right were the parents. Oh. Yes, good point. I know. Sometimes when it quacks like a duck and looks like a duck, it's just an insane girl dressed up as a duck. Damn it. You know, just when I think I'm figuring it all out, I get these things happen and it just screws up everything. The victim's family and friends released a statement saying that they're deeply affected by this tragic events surrounding the passing of Johan and Mathilda from Meerstad and can hardly comprehend what happened while thanking the public for support. Dutch police have confirmed a minor is in custody, but have not disclosed the motive. They've not disclosed the motive. They have no idea why this happened. The investigation remains ongoing. They have no idea why this person, who clearly was suffering from fucking deranged mentality, because they thought they were a girl, then they thought they were a boy, then they were a girl, they thought they were a boy, then they thought they were a dog, and then they murdered their parents. I mean, it's like you could take a line from here to here and go, oh. Notice no one is saying we never seen it coming. Yeah. Yeah, they blur out kids because easy to pick on, or AI image, try unblurring it. I don't need to blur it. I just, you know. This story. Trump's shield of America's gains momentum. Colombia set to join. Ecuador deepens U.S. security partnership. Haiti draws regional attention. Yes. Where's Frisky? I don't know. Shield of Americas, Doral 2026. Wow, look at there's Bukele Nukebi, Bukele, whatever his name is, and then there's the other guy with the chainsaw. Yeah, everybody's there. Everybody's there. President Trump's Shield of America's initiative continues to gain momentum across the Western Hemisphere. As Colombia prepares to officially join the coalition, Ecuador has significantly expanded its security partnership with the United States, while politicals in Dominican Republic are urging alliance to help address deepening crisis in Haiti. At the center of this expanding regional effort are Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Special Envoy Kristi Noem. They are both the leading diplomatic advocates of the Shield since its launch during the historic Shield of the America Summit held in March 2026 at Trump National Doral, Miami. What began as a strategic vision is rapidly evolving into a long-term regional security framework designed to combat transnational organized crime, drug cartels, violent gangs, human trafficking, illegal migration, money laundering, and other threats undermining stability through the Western Hemisphere. From the summit to the Regional Security Alliance, since the Miami summit, Rubio and Noem have championed what they describe as a coalition of the willing. Coalition of the willing. Didn't we hear that before? That phrase, coalition. Coalition of the willing, a partnership of sovereign nations. Coalition of the willing. I think I remember. I think I remember that being the term they used for the invasion of Iraq in 2003, the coalition of the willing. They should come up with a different term. 60 away from Frisky Vision. Guys, let's do this. I don't know where Frisky is. I couldn't do Frisky Vision because I don't have a camera for Frisky, and I don't know where she is. She might be under the bed. She might be outside. She might be under a different bed. I thought Noem was out. No, she's still working, and she just got moved out of the DHS. She's now working for this Shield of Americas. Just don't let Noem do advertising. Yeah, she'll spend way too much money, and she'll be like riding on horses and stuff. Night, Baki. Have a good night. Yes. All right, I'm getting some sleep. Good night. Thanks for being here, buddy. Macron and Stammer. Yes, get rid of them. That's what we need to get rid It's a partnership of sovereign nations committed to protecting their borders, defending democratic institutions, and confronting criminal organizations through coordinated actions. Rather than creating another bureaucracy or issuing symbolic declarations, the Shield of the Americas focuses on practical cooperation, including intelligence sharing, joint security operations, stronger border enforcement, law enforcement coordination, military cooperation, and protection of critical infrastructure. For Rubio, security and economic prosperity go hand in hand. His strategy is rooted in the belief that no nation can achieve lasting economic growth while drug cartels, organized crime, and corruption continue to undermine the public institutions and threaten the safety of citizens. Sounds like a horror and a John, definitely. One of the initiative's most significant developments is Colombia's expected entry into the coalition. Fun facts, cats and ducks was the original meme, but the AI only recognized eating the cats and dogs. Oh, cool. Thanks for being here, Greg. Shield of the America is who's been bombing the drug boats. Yes. Si, senor. The current Shield member nations led by the United States recently issued a joint statement supporting Colombia's democratic transition. The declaration urged respect for the constitutional order and recognized the officially certified election results and expressed support for the peaceful transfer of power to Presidente Alberto El Espriella. Anyone ever noticed that every drug commercial warns of self-harm, but harming others is never mentioned? Yet as we get more pills, we get more deadly maniacs that are taking pills for some reason. It is quite interesting, isn't it? And they never say that like, oh, be careful, you might kill someone. They say, hey, be careful if you have suicidal thoughts, not ever that you're going to have homicidal thoughts. Don't make me throw my shoe at you. Yes. Joint statement. Okay, so if the current timetable holds, Colombia is expected to formally join on August 7th, strengthening regional cooperation and intelligence sharing, counter narcotics operations, border security, and to fight against transnational criminal organizations. It's quite interesting, isn't it, Jim? It is. Very interesting. I think it is. I think it's fascinating. For the Trump administration, Colombia's participation represents another major step towards building a unified hemispheric security strategy. It's like the Don Roe doctrine. The Don Roe doctrine. Not the Monroe, the Don Roe. If SHIELD headed up by a guy with an eye patch named Nick, well, I thought you weren't going to reveal that you were the one leading it, just me. You're in charge. You keep an eye on it. What's going to happen when a planet has over 20 billions of peoples? I don't know, population control. That's what's going to happen. Side effects are worse than the malady the drugs are supposed to fix. That's right. Ecuador strengthens security cooperation. At the same time, Ecuador has emerged as another key partner in Washington's regional security strategy. President Daniel Noboa's government recently confirmed the deployment of U.S. military personnel to expand bilateral cooperation in intelligence, maritime surveillance training, and counter-narcotics operations. The move follows constitutional reforms that once again allows foreign military installations in Ecuador, reversing restrictions that have been in place since 2008. While the agreement is part of the bilateral U.S.-Ecuador partnership rather than a formal SHIELD operation, it reflects the same strategic vision championed by Rubio, building a network of democratic allies capable of confronting transnational threats that no nation can defeat alone. So never dog meat like, wait, hot dogs can be made with meat of real dogs. No, hot dogs are not made with meat by real dogs. For Washington, enhanced cooperation with Ecuador is expected to improve maritime interdiction, intelligence sharing, and operational readiness, and efforts to dismantle criminal organizations using the Pacific Corridor to traffic narcotics to the United States and Europe. As the coalition continues to expand, political leaders in the Dominican Republic are calling for the Shield of Americas to play a role in addressing Haiti's worsening security crisis. Dominican Congressman Elias Wesson Chavez, together with former Defense Minister Pellegrin Castillo, and more than 100 political, civic, and academic leaders, recently sent an open letter to the presidents and leaders of the nations participating in the Shield. Yes. Kosher hot dogs only, no tube steaks. Tube steaks. Kosher hot dogs only, tube steaks, yes. Yes. I like mine fried with onions. You ever have a kosher hot dog fried with onions? If you ever get a chance to get like a Best Kosher or a Chicago Red Hot or a Vienna Beef or something like that, fry it in onions. Start to brown, start to caramelize some onions, put the hot dog, like you put the onions in there, you put the hot dogs on top, and you let the onions cook down with the hot dogs in, getting the steam and stuff from the onions. Man, wow, they are so good. National hot dogs. Okay. Ecuador sounds much like an AOC accent. Yes. The letter describes the shield as an initiative sponsored by President Donald Trump to redefine hemispheric security on new foundations and argues that Haiti's collapse now poses a direct threat to peace and stability throughout the Caribbean. Fried bologna sandwiches were a fave when I was growing up. Yes, they're good. Robots take over, then there will be no more concern about food shortages. Definitely. Yum, yum, yum. We believe it's our duty to respectfully deliver a message of justice, reason, and prudent warning with purpose to the island of Hispaniola and to the greater Caribbean and Americas. The signatories argue that decades of international intervention have failed to rebuild Haiti's institutions. Well, yeah, the Clintons stole how many billions? They also warn against policies they believe would effectively transform the Dominican Republic into a permanent buffer state for Haiti's crisis by shifting the long-term humanitarian and migrant burdens onto Dominican territory. The letter further recalls statements made by Marco Rubio during his time in the Senate when he warned that policies under the Biden administration could dramatically increase migration pressures on the DR. Although the letter does not formally request Haiti's admission, it argues that the coalition could provide the most effective regional framework for restoring order, dismantling criminal networks, and supporting Haiti's reconstruction from within its own territory. The Clintons stole or gave away to friends billions, yes. Wow, Westworld is actually possible. It is. Why does bologna curl up when fried? I don't know. I mean, it makes like a hat if you fry it. It goes like this. It goes, makes like a hat. If you cut it, it doesn't. You put a little cut in it, it doesn't do that. Less than a year after launch, the shield is beginning to move from concept to implementation. Colombia's ascension and Ecuador's expanded security partnership and growing calls by Dominican leaders for a coalition to stabilize Haiti all point to regional strategy gaining traction. Bologna curls up when it's fried. So do pepperonis because they're melting the fat away. Oh, okay. It cut into the edges. It will stay flat. Yeah. Put cut in, then it becomes Pac-Man. Yes. You have to kind of slice it like pizza, not all the way, just a bit, and it won't curl. For President Trump, the objective is clear: build a permanent alliance of democratic nations capable of securing borders, defeating criminal organizations, protecting national sovereignty, and strengthening the Western Hemisphere. That's awesome. Go, Trump, go. Wow. Over 10,000 Christians arrested in China as Xi Jinping's communist regime escalates religious crackdown. Christians across communist China are being arrested, detained, and disappeared. Reports are emerging about underground Christians who say police have raided homes in the middle of the night, taken people away to gulags, to prison camps. A Christian only identified as TJ recalled police smashing into his home before dragging away his wife. Taylor ham is much better than any bologna. Okay. Is this news from CBS or CB Jim? Oh, CNN or CBS. This is from the Gateway Pundit. You crack me up, Jim. I love your Chinese accent. Well, thank you. Why the disparity between Haiti and Dominican Republic? They're on the same island, for F's sake. Well, do you want me to tell you the truth, or do you want me to lie to you? I think you want me to tell you the truth because I make a practice here on this channel of always telling the truth. The disparity is all in IQ. Okay? There's a distinct IQ difference between the people of the Dominican Republic and the people of Haiti. That's it. Haiti has an average IQ of 70. The Dominican Republic has an average IQ of 85. It's a big difference. Jay Leby says, lie to me harder, baby. Truth. Well, that's the truth. Yes, that is the truth. two different people. And they're separated by a mountain that's hard to travel over. So one side is more Hispanic, the other side is more, and 70 is more than Somalia's 67. Look at most of Africa, yes. Well, I mean, that's the problem. So China officially permits Christianity through churches controlled by the Communist Party and are expected to display portraits of Xi Jinping and demonstrate loyalty to the regime. Police have arrested thousands across China to shut down our underground churches. The Telegraph spoke of 6 Chinese Christians who have either been targeted by a CCP and incarcerated by relatives. These are the stories. Chinese Christians are disappearing for worshiping a God rather than a Xi Jinping. Millions instead worship in underground churches, placing them at risk of arrest. Recent raids have targeted Beijing's Zion Church, and earlier the Rain Covenant Church with dozens detained. Wow. Pastor Jana Young told the newspaper authorities he spent months attempting to build cases against a church leaders before arresting members. Yang escaped only because he was overseas when police raided his home. His wife was arrested instead. Did you see the new Federal Reserve person was the one that used to run an Xbox and gave the IP for Fallout from Bethesda to Oblivion? I expect good things from Xbox and our government. Okay, I don't know. I don't know nothing about it. Yeah, punch that like button. China's embassy rejected allegations of persecutions. Christians see little hope while Xi remains in power. Once Xi Jinping is still chairman of China, I don't think it will be better in the persecution. That means that we cannot have a church, and we are in danger. A sheriff warns the Somali gang violence is arising in Minnesota's ethnic enclaves. China arrested 10,000 Christians. Yeah, they did. I think I have. I think I had other videos of this somewhere. I had videos of the. Anyway. Okie dokie. Where are we at here? Let's see. Let's see if I can find if they're gonna have the video. Here it is, the sheriff. So the sheriff, they're importing a huge number of smellies into the U.S. Their children are now involved in violent armed gangs.
A number of shootings and a homicide over the 4th of July weekend involving Somali gangs. On Wilson Street in Minneapolis, the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office says a Wilmer soccer coach was killed as part of Somali gang violence, but the problem didn't start there.
This last weekend, we were at the...
Doesn't Rakeda live in Wilmer? I thought Rakeda lives in Wilmer.
The Ramsey County Sheriff's Office says a Wilmer soccer coach was killed as part of Somali gang violence, but the problem didn't start there.
This last weekend, we were at the Juice Time in Arden Hills. There was 300 young Somali kids there, and some of them were gangsters. And we had a number of us law enforcement officers there that curtailed their activity. But 2 hours later, they were shooting someone over in northeast Minneapolis, same group.
Fletcher and his investigators say Somali gang violence is growing fast and spans the metro, with 12 Somali gangs from Minneapolis and St. Paul to St. Cloud to Apple Valley and Burnsville. Ramsey County tracking the violence within the Somali community. The majority of it is gun violence.
Yes, we had an incident over the weekend in Minneapolis where an innocent young man from Woodbury was shot, and he's in the hospital right now fighting for his life. And it's costing a lot of problem for the.
Well, look at this guy's badge number is 1234. I guess that's an easy way for to remember his number. It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Community.
Somali gangs are still young and growing, with about 300 involved right now. The gangs really coming on scene in 2022. But what separates their actions from traditional gang violence is it's mostly just about bragging rights.
From what I've seen is that right now it's all about showboating. It's all about ego. These kids, for the 99% part of it, they aren't selling narcotics. It's all about just gloating.
You want rookie on the drill? You want rookie on the drill?
The gang battles are fueled by social media, like this viral video taken outside the St. Paul River Center in May that ended with people shot and in jail.
We're losing kids getting killed every day, right? We have kids that are getting into the system early, right? So we have kids that were carrying guns, right? And the parents are not aware of it. Parents don't know, right? That's the issue that we've seen lately, right? So that's why we're here.
Wow. That's why they're there. That's crazy. What's this? It close to Spicer. Wilmer is a county seat for Rackus County. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I think that's the place. I think that's the place. I was pretty sure that was the place. I could swear he said something about Wilmer. It's like the big town, right? Spicer, Wilmer, Spicy Wilmers, Wilmer Spicy something. Will be spicy. Something like that. Well, everybody, we did not hit the goal for where are we at here? Sorry, for an additional hour. 200 to 30 Somalians in one place. That's not a good idea. It will lead to organized crime. That's crazy. Pool is needed. Yes. We didn't hit the goal for the second hour. All right. But there's so many people here. I don't know what to do. But I will say I have a plan. There's a channel called Scourge of Tyranny run by a good friend of mine named Tim. Kind of the same type of show here. All right. That I do, covering a bunch of stuff like this. I'm going to send everybody on YouTube and Rumble over to Scourge of Tyranny. Please go over and say hi to him. All right. His name is Tim. He has a panel of people, a guy by the name of Dan Blackroyd, Liquid Blake, and Screaming Greg. And they're covering a bunch of stuff. And they do a good job. If you like them, maybe subscribe and say hi. And let them know that Jim sent you. I will see everybody tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time. 7 p.m. Eastern Monday. Be here or be square. Come back for Jim to tell you the news.